Chapter 28-22. Why do I feel like something has suddenly disappeared from my body? Lin Feng could not help but have a very strange feeling. He looked at his right wrist. Originally, there was a strand of red world love that connected him to the red world fairy. The love tribulation was the tribulation the red world fairy had to undergo before breaking through to the great emperor realm. First, she had to undergo the love tribulation to break the demon barrier in her heart. Only then would the lightning tribulation descend. Now that the red world fairy had become a great emperor, the strand of red world love had naturally disappeared. However, Lin Feng could not see the strand of red world love. That was why he had such a strange feeling. It was as if something that originally belonged to him had suddenly disappeared from his hand. The Demon Lord knew about the strand of red world love, but the Demon Lord had not told Lin Feng about it. Now that the strand of red world love had disappeared from Lin Feng's wrist, the Demon Lord's face immediately revealed an extremely shocked expression. The strand of red world love has actually disappeared. In other words, that woman should have succeeded in her tribulation? The Demon Lord muttered to himself. Thinking of this, his heart was filled with deep shock. If that woman had succeeded in her tribulation, that would be too shocking. The Demon Lord took a deep breath and then revealed a sinister smile. This is going to be interesting. I wonder how the big shots of the Celestial Realm will react to this woman's birth? The Celestial Realm. The Celestial Master Palace. The 33 Celestial Masters opened their eyes at the same time. Their eyes flickered with dense killing intent. This woman is too terrifying. We have to get rid of her as soon as possible. Once her wings are fully grown, getting rid of her will become wishful thinking. One of the Celestial Masters said, "That's right. We have to get rid of her before she becomes a big enough threat. Otherwise, she will become a threat to us in the future." The second Celestial Master said. The other Celestial Masters nodded in agreement. Who should we send? One of the Celestial Masters asked. Due to various reasons, the 33 Celestial Masters could not leave the Celestial Realm. Naturally, it was impossible for them to personally kill Venerable Hong Chen. Of course, even if they could leave the Heaven Realm, they would not personally descend to the lower realm to kill the Red World Fairy. They were the high and mighty Heavenly Masters. How powerful were they? What kind of extraordinary identity was that? Was there a need for them to take action against a cultivator who had just entered the Great Emperor realm? No matter how heaven-defying that Great Emperor was, he was still just a Great Emperor. Send Imperial Monarch Tari. With Imperial Monarch Tari's strength, killing that woman shouldn't be a problem. One of the Heaven Lords said, "All right, then send Emperor Tuer over." The Heavenly Lords reached an agreement. Lin Feng was still patiently waiting for the Great World to cut open the ape-shaped stone. However, it would take another month for the Tao Rising World to cut open the stone. During this period of time, a large number of cultivators had entered the Six-God City, causing it to become more and more lively. Especially in the trading market, many rare treasures had appeared. Many races, extraterrestrial races, and cultivators from other forces took out many treasures from their respective worlds to trade. Therefore, the trading market was packed with people during this period of time. Other than the trading market, the market in the Six-God City was also extremely lively. This was because the Six-God City itself was a sacred place for stone cutting. In addition, all kinds of top-grade stones had been unearthed during this period of time. Naturally, it attracted many people's attention. Moreover, many people had indeed obtained good items. Some had obtained a Sciention Lifeforms handbone. Some had obtained a mysterious catalog. Some had obtained a Genesis Firestone, and so on. During this period of time, all kinds of treasures had been unearthed in the stone workshop. Lin Feng did not go to the stone workshop, although he was very good at identifying stones. In reality, Lin Feng was not particularly interested in stone cutting. Many people were addicted to stone cutting because of the word gambling. Stone cutting was also called stone gambling. To put it bluntly, it was also a type of gambling. Gambling was very addictive. Therefore, it was best to stay away from gambling. On this day, an expert from the myriad races arrived. Gong Zongni, Gongzi Yu's elder brother and a top genius of the Sky Demon race, had arrived at the Six-God City. Gong Zongni's arrival caused quite a stir because it was said that he'd obtained a treasure in the West Sea realm not long ago. That treasure was shrouded in chaos mist. Some guessed that it was a magic treasure, but others guessed that it was a natural treasure that could directly increase one's cultivation. Of course, no one knew what it was exactly. After all, Gong Zongni had quickly disappeared after obtaining it. Gong Zongni was an extremely heaven-defying existence to begin with. After obtaining such a fortuitous encounter, his battle prowess was bound to increase greatly. Lin Feng is in the Sixth God City. Someone transmitted a message to Gong Zongni, but the person did not appear. Clearly, they wanted Gong Zongni to deal with Lin Feng. Does anyone know where Lin Feng lives? Gong Zongni's lips curved into a faint smile as he looked at the crowd. The surrounding cultivators were in an uproar when they heard Gong Zongni ask about Lin Feng's residence. Gong Zongni couldn't be planning to deal with Lin Feng, right? Many people instantly thought of a certain possibility. The myriad races, alien races, and cultivators from other factions all felt that Gong Zongni might be planning to deal with Lin Feng. Thus, they were very excited. An expert like Gong Zongni was planning to deal with Lin Feng. The possibility of Lin Feng's defeat was very high. He might even be killed on the spot. The cultivators of the 9 provinces couldn't help but worry for Lin Feng. Gong Zongni's reputation spread far and wide. Even among the myriad races, there were very few young cultivators who could contend against him. It was said that Gong Zongni's battle prowess had long surpassed many experts of the older generation. Now, he could be described as unfathomable. I know. I'm willing to lead the way for you. A cultivator from the myriad races hurriedly walked out and said while nodding and bowing. Lead the way, Gong Zongni said. Please follow me, young master. The myriad race cultivator led Gong Zongni towards Lin Feng's residence. I didn't expect that the son of the heavenly demon emperor, who provoked Lin Feng before, wouldn't make a move against Lin Feng. Now, Gong Zongni wants to make a move against Lin Feng. Gong Zongni is one of the most hidden, terrifying existences among the younger generation of the myriad races. If he makes a move, Lin Feng will die without a doubt. Let's go and take a look. We'll definitely be able to watch a good show later. Many cultivators of the myriad races, extraterritorial races, and cultivators from other forces followed abandoned to watch the show. Let's go take a look as well. Many cultivators of the 9 provinces were also very concerned about this matter. They also followed behind and headed towards Lin Feng's residence. Chapter 28-23. It didn't take long for them to arrive at Lin Feng's residence. The cultivator leading the way pointed to Lin Feng's courtyard. A large number of cultivators had gathered to watch the show. Everyone was waiting for a fierce clash between Lin Feng and young Master Nye. Lin Feng, come out. I have something to ask you. Young Master Nye said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Although his voice wasn't loud, it was extremely penetrating and carried an unquestionable tone. Even people far away could hear it. So many people who were resting in the courtyard all came out to watch the show after hearing young Master Nye's voice. Isn't he here to kill Lin Feng? Is he here to ask about something? Many people looked at each other in dismay. These cultivators from the myriad races, alien races, and other factions all hoped that young Master Nye would kill Lin Feng. However, they now realized that young Master Nye had only come to ask about something. This greatly disappointed them. Lin Feng didn't show himself. Only his voice could be heard. What is it? Ask away. That brat actually didn't come out. He dares to be so arrogant in front of young Master Nye? Someone sneered. However, someone else said, so what? Lin Feng is a top genius. He isn't necessarily afraid of young Master Nye. Is he going to come out just because young Master Nye called him? Young Master Nye's eyes darkened. A cold glint flashed in his eyes. However, he was a scheming person, so he didn't act out. Instead, he hid the coldness in his heart and said slowly, have you seen Gongziyu? Lin Feng said indifferently, I haven't seen him. Young Master Nye continued, if you see my good little brother Gongziyu, tell him to come find me. A big shot from the clan has come and wants to see him. The big shot young Master Nye was talking about was the Empyrean Demon Sage. Lin Feng didn't know if the Empyrean Demon Saint really wanted to see Gongziyu. But he knew that Gongziyu wanted to kill Gongziyu and steal the magic lotus. Lin Feng naturally wouldn't let go of this chance to humiliate him. He said, "Of course I can help you pass the message, but you have to promise me one thing." Gong Zongya asked, "What is it?" "When you see me in the future, take a detour," Lin Feng said faintly. Lin Feng's words immediately caused an uproar. He was clearly making things difficult for Gong Zini. People would take a detour around someone like young Master Nye when they saw him. Now, Lin Feng actually told Gong Zai to take a detour after seeing him. Those who didn't know would think that Gong Zai was inferior to Lin Feng, so he had no choice but to avoid him. "Do you know what you're saying?" Young Master Nye's voice turned cold. "What? Don't you understand human language?" Lin Feng pursed his lips. He and Gong Zini had already shed all pretenses, so Lin Feng naturally didn't need to be polite with him. "You're just digging your own grave." Gong Zini's eyes flashed with killing intent. "Even if I have to dig my own grave, I'll bury you." Lin Feng was very domineering and didn't fear Gong Zini at all. His words were sharp, leaving Gong Zini speechless. "Lowly human, you're only good at talking." Gong Zini's voice was indifferent, but it was already filled with killing intent. "You have the nerve to call someone else a lowly race after being raised as a slave by the ancient demons for tens of thousands of years?" Lin Feng mocked. "You're courting death." Gong Zini's eyes surged with killing intent. This was a period of time that the sky demons were most unwilling to talk about. During that time, they were slaves of the ancient demons. Many sky demons were still furious when they thought about that period of time. Someone as proud as Gong Zini naturally wouldn't allow others to talk about it. This Lin Feng is too domineering. He's constantly provoking Gong Zini. Does he want to fight him? Someone asked. That's very likely. Judging from Lin Feng's way of doing things, he's always been this domineering. Moreover, Lin Feng is on good terms with Gongziyu, and Gong Zini wants to kill Gongziyu. I'm guessing that their relationship is like fire and water. I wonder if they can fight. If Gong Zini wants to fight, Lin Feng definitely won't back down. Many people whispered to each other, discussing the current situation. Gong Zini's expression calmed down. I don't need to deal with you. Someone else will deal with you. I'll let you live for a few more days. With that, Gong Zini turned and left. Let's go, let's go. Let's disperse. Seeing that there was no more drama to watch, the surrounding people dispersed. Lin Feng's residence. In the living room, tea was being boiled on the table. Lin Feng and Gongziyu sat facing each other. Gongziyu had arrived at Six God City the previous night. After arriving, he came to look for Lin Feng. Lin Feng and Gongziyu were once enemies, but now they were friends. Perhaps this was what they meant by no discord, no concord. This person is indeed very deep and knows how to endure. I provoked him, but he still didn't make a move. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. He's very scary. He's so scary that it's unimaginable. Previously, I almost died in his hands. But sooner or later, I'll kill him myself. Gongziyu's eyes flashed with killing intent. Gongziyu had also had a fortuitous encounter, and his cultivation had increased greatly. Moreover, he had the magic lotus. This supreme treasure could allow his cultivation to increase by 1,000 miles. Empyrean Demon Saint, this Empyrean Demon Emperor probably came for the magic lotus, right? This person is a huge problem. Lin Feng said. He won't make a move. No matter what, he has to be cautious. Gongziyu raised his eyelids and said. Lin Feng thought for a moment, then nodded. Gongziyu might have been abandoned by the clan, but he was still the son of the Empyrean Demon Emperor. With this layer of identity, outsiders would not dare to kill him openly. And as Gongzinye's savior, the Empyrean Demon Saint's identity was extremely sensitive. The Empyrean Demon Clan even encouraged their disciples to kill each other to determine the strongest king. But if the Empyrean Demon Saint made a move, the nature would be completely different. Screech. On this day, the cry of a phoenix resounded throughout the world. A flaming phoenix came with 100,000 divine flames. It's Old Mother Phoenix, someone exclaimed. This was an unfathomable existence that had always been by the Red World Fairy's side. She was an expert of the Demon Clan. Old Mother Phoenix had been around for a long time, and it was said that she had undergone 3 nirvanic rebirths, which was equivalent to cultivating for 3 lifetimes. Many people had made deductions about the strength of the demon clan experts of the ancient demon continent. Many people believed that Old Mother Phoenix was very likely one of the most powerful cultivators of the ancient demon continent. This was definitely an expert who could shock the heavens and make ghosts and gods weep. Chapter 28-24. Swoosh. A black ray of light streaked across the void. The black ray of light seemed to be able to shatter heaven and earth, shattering the firmament. The black ray of light directly slashed toward Old Mother Phoenix. Heavens! Someone actually attacked Old Mother Phoenix. Many people exclaimed. Who wouldn't respect an expert like Old Mother Phoenix? Now, a cultivator had attacked Old Mother Phoenix, but the attacker had yet to show himself. Thus, no one knew who had attacked Old Mother Phoenix. Lin Feng, Gongziyu, Du Zhu, and the heretic dominator Saint also looked into the distance. Lin Feng had seen Old Mother Phoenix once during the Red World Fairy's birthday. At that time, Old Mother Phoenix and Patriarch Sky Dragon had formed the auspicious Dragon and Phoenix Aura. They had congratulated the Red World Fairy on her birthday. Thus, Lin Feng had a deep impression of her. However, he hadn't expected Old Mother Phoenix's cultivation to be so powerful. A black ray of light with the power of fire lingering around it. Why do I feel that this power comes from the same source as the power of the Phoenix clan? Lin Feng couldn't help but feel puzzled. The same source? Could it be the Phoenix clan that attacked? Du Zhu muttered. We'll know when we see it, Lin Feng said. Old Mother Phoenix stretched out her phoenix claw and gently grabbed at the void. A clang was heard. In an instant, the claw directly shattered the black ray of light. Come out! Old Mother Phoenix flapped her wings, and 2 terrifying wind blades swept toward the void in the distance. Bang! The void shattered, and a black phoenix flew out from it. The black phoenix was surrounded by black flames. It was extremely strange. When Lin Feng saw the black phoenix, he was shocked. This was the first time he had seen such a phoenix. He had never even heard of such a black phoenix before, let alone seen it. Such a black phoenix was a little too strange. Dark Phoenix. Old Mother Phoenix looked at the black phoenix in shock. The Dark Phoenix was rumored to be a fallen phoenix of the Phoenix clan. Its soul had been sold to the devil in hell. Because of this, he was able to control the power of darkness. However, he was expelled from the Phoenix clan. This matter was only known to the inner circle of the Phoenix clan. No outsiders knew about it at all. Even after countless years, the Dark Phoenix's inheritance had not been severed. This race was synonymous with darkness and evil. He had a great hatred for the Phoenix clan. Perhaps it was because they hated being expelled from the Phoenix clan. So the Dark Phoenix clan wanted nothing more than to exterminate all the phoenixes. Only by doing so could they vent their hatred. That's right. Old Mother Phoenix, let this seed experience your divine ability again. The Dark Phoenix sneered as it flapped its wings. A large amount of black energy surged out of the wings. The black energy gathered together and exuded a world-destroying fluctuation. That kind of aura was too terrifying. It was as if the end of the world had arrived. In the face of the Dark Phoenix's tyrannical attack, Old Mother Phoenix's wings also began to vibrate. A large amount of fiery red energy flew out. Bang! The 2 terrifying beings collided with each other violently. With them as the epicenter, the void was constantly collapsing. Many people felt the Emperor's might and lost control of their bodies. They immediately knelt on the ground. If the 2 of you continue to fight, I'm afraid 6 God City will be destroyed. Let's end this battle here. An old voice came from 6 God City. As the voice fell, a tyrannical power surged out. That tyrannical power separated Old Mother Phoenix and the Dark Phoenix. What a powerful existence. Who is that old man? Many people were shocked. The person who had attacked must be extremely terrifying. Otherwise, it would be impossible to separate the 2. Is it an expert from the 9 prefectures? Many cultivators from the 9 prefectures became excited. The myriad races, the extraterrestrial races, and the great emperors from other forces would definitely not stop the battle between Old Mother Phoenix and the Dark Phoenix. They probably hoped that the battle between the two sides would be as intense as possible. They might even be able to reap some benefits from it. Therefore, the ones who should stop this battle should be the cultivators from the 9 prefectures. I'm afraid there is more than one peak expert from the 9 prefectures, Gongziyu said. Lin Feng nodded and said, in the past, these existences had never appeared in the world. However, now that the world has changed and the myriad races, the extraterrestrial races, and the cultivators from other forces have entered the 9 prefectures, the peak experts of the 9 prefectures have begun to move about. These experts clearly did not become great emperors in this era. They should have lived for a very long time. Now, they wanted to fight for a future. Old Mother Phoenix and the Dark Phoenix separated. In the end, Old Mother Phoenix transformed into a beautiful woman and landed in 6 God City. As for the Dark Phoenix, it transformed into a middle-aged man dressed in black clothes. He also entered 6 God City. I wonder how many great emperors have gathered in 6 God City? Lin Feng couldn't help but stroke his chin. The next day, a piece of news spread throughout 6 God City. 5 or 6 heaven-defying geniuses from the myriad races' imperial families had been defeated by a human youth. Moreover, all of their heirlooms had been snatched away by the youth, becoming his spoils of war. This caused a huge commotion because the youth looked to be only 16 or 17 years old. Some people even sensed his actual age. They discovered that the youth was indeed too young. He was really only 16 or 17 years old. Lin Feng was shocked when he heard about this. He's so young, yet he's already capable of suppressing the myriad races' heaven-defying geniuses. Just who is that youth? Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. As expected, there was no lack of geniuses in the world. Perhaps, the people of this era were about to witness the birth of an extremely heaven-defying existence. 3 days later, the young man helped an old man to the outskirts of 6 God City. Cough, cough, cough. The old man coughed violently. He was too old, and his slightly tall body was now slightly hunched. 6 God City, what a nostalgic place. The old man looked at the 3 words on the city wall. The youth asked, Grandpa, have you been to 6 God City before? Yes, I've been here before, and I have a special memory. Even though many years have passed, I haven't forgotten what happened during that time. However, the world has changed. The 6 God City today is no longer the 6 God City of my memories. The old man said. With the youth's help, the old man entered 6 God City. The news of this young man coming to the 6 God City spread very quickly, attracting many people. Everyone wanted to see where this young man came from. He was so young, yet he was already so strong. Lin Feng, Gongziyu, Du Zhu, and the heretic sovereign sage also went to take a look when they heard that the youth had arrived. Chapter 28-25. When Lin Feng and the others came out, they saw a young man supporting an old man from afar. Now, many people were pointing at the young man. That young man was the rumored heaven-defying human youth. When Lin Feng saw the young man, he could not help but be slightly surprised. He was indeed young and very handsome. There was a hint of arrogance between his brows. He's really too young. I wonder who he is. Why is his talent so heaven-defying? Even if he started cultivating in his mother's womb, he shouldn't be able to cultivate to such a level. Du Zhu rubbed his chin and said, unless he's been enlightened by someone else. Enlightened by someone was a peerless expert who used a special method to impart his or her skills to someone else. For example, sealing a part of one's skills in someone else's body. That person might recover that part of their skills in the future, and that strength would belong to that person. This kind of thing was extremely rare in the world of cultivators. Cultivators who could be enlightened were definitely peerless and terrifying existences. Moreover, the enlightenment bestowal would also cause great harm to their bodies. Experts like them might not necessarily do something like enlightenment bestowal. They would only take such a risk if they had no other choice. Of course, they could not rule out the possibility that this young man had been enlightened by someone else, which was why he was so heaven-defying. If he had cultivated to such a heaven-defying level in his teens by himself, it would be too inconceivable. Even Lin Feng did not dare to believe that it was true. Look at that old man. Don't you feel that there's something special about him? Lin Feng pointed at the old man supported by the young man. Lin Feng felt that there was something special about the old man. However, when he sensed it carefully, something did not seem right. The magic power fluctuations in the old man's body were close to disappearing. His aura was weak. His flame of life was extremely thin. His life had come to an end. He could be buried in the earth at any time. He's an old man with one foot in the grave. Is there anything special about him? Gongziyu asked. Lin Feng shook his head and said, I don't know either. Maybe it's because I'm being supported by the young man. That's why I'm having an illusion. Grandpa, is this very different from the six-god city in your memories? The young man looked at the old man and asked. The old man said, Indeed, it has changed a lot. However, the only thing that hasn't changed is the layout of the streets. It's still the same as before. Six-God City has also gone through a few trials and tribulations. It's really not easy for it to become like this. Cough, cough, cough. After the old man finished speaking, he coughed violently. His body swayed slightly as if he was about to fall to the ground. Does this old thing want to see the ancient city he used to live in before he dies? A cultivator mocked in a low voice. There was a commotion in the distance. Experts had arrived. They were a group of experts from the myriad races. Someone recognized a cultivator from the ancient god clan. The cultivator's name was Shun Wuji. He was not young, having cultivated for more than 200,000 years. He was very prestigious in the ancient god clan. I heard that even Shin Daotian was defeated by that young man. A cultivator said. Lin Feng was shocked when he heard that. Shin Daotian had some grudges with him, so Lin Feng knew how strong Shin Daotian was. Even Shan Daotian was defeated in the hands of this young man. It was indeed too unimaginable. One had to know that Shen Daotian was one of the top geniuses among the myriad races' heaven-defying geniuses. Therefore, Shun Daotian's defeat was unexpected. Is Shin Wuji planning to deal with that young man? Someone asked. If Shin Wuji made a move, he might be able to defeat the young man. However, the age gap between them was too big. That would be unfair. Where are you from? Shin Wuji asked. The young man said arrogantly. Is that something you're qualified to know? Arrogant brat. Shin Wuji's eyes darkened. Someone was actually looking down on him like that? This caused Shin Wuji's heart to be filled with rage, and his gaze towards the young man became even colder and more sinister. The old man supported by the young man spoke. We've long since been forgotten. Why bring up our origins again? Shin Wuji frowned at the old man, but he didn't say anything else. He left with his people. All sorts of people had appeared in Six God City. Some people's backgrounds were so great that they could scare people to death. During this period of time, conflicts would occur every day in Six God City. Battles would often break out between cultivators. The Fire Qilin and some people from the Devil race had come to Six God City. When they heard that Lin Feng was also in the city, they quickly came to look for Lin Feng. Other than the Fire Qilin, Lin Feng also saw the little Pong King, Princess Shui Yao, and the others. They were all old friends of Lin Feng from the Martial Heaven continent. That was why Lin Feng was very close to them. Little Moon couldn't come out this time. If she knew that big brother Lin Feng, whom she missed so much, was in Six God City, she would definitely rush over without a care, said Princess Shui Yao with a smile. There was less of a holy aura around her and more of an approachable temperament. This kind of Princess Shui Yao made people feel that she was more approachable. Lin Feng smiled. I wonder what Little Moon is doing now? She's going into seclusion to undergo a bloodline baptism, said Princess Shui Yao. Lin Feng was shocked. This is very important to Little Moon. Yes. However, Lin Gongzi doesn't need to worry. She has already undergone a bloodline baptism twice. This will be the third time, so there shouldn't be any problems, said Princess Shui Yao. Then I'm relieved. Lin Feng nodded. At night, the group headed to the Myriad Flower Pavilion. The group of over 10 people was quite lively. Everyone gathered together, chatting and drinking. The Fire Qilin brought a piece of important news. The Great Pung King and the Peacock King have been in the Western Sea all this time. They seem to have noticed something important, said the Fire Qilin. The Western Sea Primal Chaos Ancient Nation? Asked Lin Feng in shock. This was definitely no small matter. That's right. Let's wait for news, and then prepare to go to the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation at any time. It's said that there are too many secrets hidden there, said the Fire Cheelin excitedly. The origin of the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation was too mysterious. It had never revealed itself, but one could imagine that once it did, it would definitely cause a storm of blood. Chapter 28-26. On this day, the six-god city was bustling with noise and excitement. A large number of cultivators gathered at the central plaza. This was because the Tao Rising World was going to cut the stone at the central plaza. Lin Feng, Gong Ziyu, Fire Cheelin, and the others gathered together and walked towards the central plaza. I wonder if the great sage, Heaven's Equal, is really sealed? If he really sealed the great sage, Heaven's Equal, I'm afraid a bloodbath would ensue today. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. If the rumors were true, the great sage, Heaven's Equal, was sealed inside. Given the great sage's cultivation, he should have already cut open the stone and come out. However, the great sage, Heaven's Equal, had yet to come out. This meant that the great sage, Heaven's Equal's body had encountered a huge problem. An existence like the great sage, Heaven's Equal, had devoured an unknown amount of fate in his life. If the great sage, Heaven's Equal, was sealed inside, many people would want to take his life. How much fate could one obtain by killing the great sage, Heaven's Equal? Originally, reaching the Imperial Emperor realm was the limit. However, if one killed the great sage, Heaven's Equal, and obtained his fate, they might be able to break through to the immortal realm. Many people came here with such thoughts. Therefore, although it seemed calm now, there were actually undercurrents surging. A bloodbath could erupt at any time. Many cultivators gathered at the central plaza. There were also many cultivators floating in the sky. The Tao Rising World's cultivators had yet to arrive. Everyone was waiting. It's said that the cultivators who cut open the extraordinary items or seal themselves as experts can also obtain a portion of fate. The two great emperors of the Tao Rising World will definitely obtain a huge amount of fate. A cultivator said. Lin Feng was slightly surprised when he heard this. Previously, he was puzzled that the Tao Rising World's cultivators didn't take the stone for themselves. Instead, they opened it openly. However, all his doubts were gone now. Firstly, the two great emperors of the Tao Rising World could obtain fate if they cut open the stone. Secondly, if they pocketed it for themselves, the other forces might gang up on them. They're here. A cultivator pointed into the distance. Everyone looked over. Dozens of cultivators flew over. The two people in the lead were the two great emperors of the Tao Rising World. One of the great emperors was an old man with white hair and a youthful face. The other great emperor was a middle-aged man in his 40s. The old man is called Dao Wu Yuan, and the middle-aged cultivator is called Dao Shengfa. Previously, Dao Shengfa's son was killed by the cultivators of the Nine Mysterious Great World. Therefore, Dao Shengfa and the great emperor of the Nine Mysterious Great World fought. But in the end, there was no clear victor. A cultivator said. The destruction caused by that battle was huge. It was simply world-shaking. Someone sighed with emotion. When he thought of how terrifying that battle was, he still felt a lingering fear. After the people from the Dao Qi Major World arrived, a void battle ring appeared in the central square. The people from the great world of Dao stopped on the void arena. The void battle ring was suspended in midair, and everyone could clearly see the scene above. I'm sure everyone has been waiting for a long time. Let's not waste any more time. Let's cut the stone now, Dao Wuyuan said. The people of the Dao Qi Great World were very straightforward and did not waste any time. Dao Saint Technique waved his right hand. Whoosh! Light flashed. The ape-shaped stone flew out and landed on the void battle ring. The stone was about 3 meters tall and had the shape of an ape. The stone was extraordinary. It was surrounded by holy light. If one carefully sensed it, one could sense a powerful aura fluctuation from the stone. That aura fluctuation shocked and moved everyone. The vitality contained in this stone is too exuberant. Although it hasn't been cut open, I can still sense the boundless vitality within it. A cultivator exclaimed in surprise. It was indeed as the cultivator said. The vitality contained in the ape-shaped stone was too exuberant. It was as boundless as the sea. He really didn't know what kind of creature it was to have such boundless vitality. It was just too shocking. It seems that the great sage, heaven's equal, is sealed in this stone. Yes, it's indeed possible. Otherwise, it wouldn't have such boundless vitality. Many people whispered to each other. They could not wait to see the two great emperors of the Daoqi major world cut open the stone. They wanted to know if the great sage, heaven's equal, was sealed in the stone. Even if it was not the great sage, heaven's equal, such exuberant vitality was enough to shock the world. Let's start cutting the stone now, Dao Xingfa said as he took out a stone-cutting knife. Dao Wuyuan also took out a stone-cutting knife. He and Dao Xingfa, one on the left and the other on the right, began cutting the stone. Originally, one person was enough to cut the stone. However, the two of them wanted to obtain the providence on the stone. Hence, they chose to cut the stone together. Swoosh! Stone chips flew everywhere. Stone chips fell off one by one. The surface area of the stone kept shrinking. The surrounding cultivators stared at the stone that kept shrinking without blinking. They did not know if the legendary great sage, heaven's equal, was sealed in that stone. If that was the case, it would be earth-shattering news. Not long after, the stone shrank by half. Clang! The stone-cutting knife in Dao Xingfa's hand seemed to have cut something special. There was a clanging sound. He cut something. Everyone's expression suddenly changed. They looked at the arena nervously. Dao Xingfa slowed down a lot, as if he was afraid of damaging the thing that was about to be cut. Swoosh! Swoosh! Stone chips were constantly being cut off. Finally, a trace of the thing's true appearance was revealed. It was actually a stone sword. A terrifying aura was emitted from the stone sword. The aura was too terrifying. The aura emitted by the stone sword made the two great emperors unable to stand still. It was hard to imagine how terrifying the stone sword was. Stone sword, one of the 36 stone swords. Lin Feng was shocked when he saw the stone sword. It was definitely one of the 36 stone swords. Lin Feng was too familiar with the stone sword's aura. Hence, he could not be wrong. The value of such a stone sword was too great. It was enough to cause a storm of blood. What stone sword is that? Its aura is so terrifying. Many people were puzzled. They did not recognize the stone sword. It's the legendary peerless stone sword that spanned across epochs. The 36 stone swords are said to be able to kill any expert. A cultivator said, "What? There's such a heaven-defying treasure?" Many cultivators who heard of the stone sword for the first time shouted in shock. This is the legendary stone sword? Chapter 28-27. The stone sword was too extraordinary. It was fine if it didn't appear, but once it did, it would definitely cause an earth-shattering change. Now that the stone sword had appeared, everyone was shocked. Everyone was amazed by the stone sword's extraordinariness. Countless eyes were staring at the stone sword in the dark. This treasure. It was enough to make many people lose themselves and go crazy. In order to obtain this treasure, they were willing to commit endless killings. However, no one had made a move yet. This was because the stone had yet to be completely cut open. Everyone was still waiting for the scene after the stone was cut open. Was the great sage equaling heaven inside? Lin Feng couldn't wait to snatch the stone sword over. However, he knew that he had to be patient. There were two great emperor-level existences standing on the stage. Moreover, he didn't know how many great emperors were watching from the dark. If he were to make a move now, wouldn't he be courting death? The birth of the stone sword is truly a stroke of luck. The two great emperors, Dao Wuyuan and Dao Xingfa, exclaimed. The birth of the stone sword was already a heaven-defying opportunity and luck. They could clearly feel that the luck in their bodies was constantly increasing. The two of them continued to cut the stone. Swoosh! Swoosh! The stone layer fell off. Stone fragments flew everywhere. The complete stone sword appeared in everyone's line of sight step by step. Not long after, a palm was suddenly cut out. It wasn't a palm with a finger, but a hand. The palm is out. The great sage equaling heaven is really going to be cut out. The surrounding cultivators exclaimed in shock. The birth of the great sage equaling heaven. How shocking would this be? This existence was a mythical figure. Now that a legendary figure was about to appear, it was naturally exciting. I never thought that after countless years, the two of us would personally cut out the great sage equaling heaven, Dao Wuyuan said, his voice filled with excitement. This was indeed something to be proud of. Cutting out the great sage equaling heaven from the stone was enough to be recorded in history. Swoosh, swoosh. Stone fragments fell on the ground and piled up together. A complete arm soon appeared in everyone's sight. Not long after, even the body appeared. This was indeed the body of a stone ape. It was extremely lifelike and exuded a powerful vitality. Its aura was extremely terrifying. That's soon. Everyone cried out in surprise because they saw a shocking scene. The stone sword actually pierced through the stone ape's chest and into its heart. Back then, the great sage equaling heavens was gravely injured because the stone sword pierced through his heart. Lin Feng's heart was in turmoil. He had never thought that the great sage, heaven's equal, would suffer a calamity because of such a reason. The stone sword was too terrifying. If the stone sword pierced the great sage, heaven's equal's heart, even an existence like the great sage, heaven's equal would be severely injured, even to the point of being fatal. Finally, the stone was completely cut open, and a stone ape appeared in everyone's line of sight. The stone ape sat cross-legged, and the stone sword pierced through its chest. Is he the great sage, heaven's equal? Someone asked softly. No one knew if this was the great sage, heaven's equal, because no one had seen the real great sage, heaven's equal. However, this existence was very likely to be the great sage, heaven's equal. The aura in his body was too powerful, and his vitality was too boundless. His chest had been pierced through by the stone sword, and he had been in a deep sleep for so long. Yet he still had such a powerful aura and boundless vitality. How terrifying would he have been at his peak? It was simply unimaginable. Boom. Finally, someone couldn't wait any longer and wanted to attack the stone ape. It was the Dark Phoenix that had attacked Old Mother Phoenix. He had transformed into his true form. With a sudden flap of his wings, a terrifying force gushed out and blasted towards the stone ape, intending to end the stone ape's life right there and then. After the Dark Phoenix attacked, endless demonic mist churned, and the great emperor of the Sky Demon clan, Empyrean Saint, stepped out of the void. He also threw a punch at the stone ape, wanting to end its life. Everyone, you're in too much of a hurry. A cold laugh came from the void. A third expert stepped out. This time, it was the great emperor of the ancient god clan. He, too, wanted to kill the stone ape and plunder its boundless fortune. The great emperor of the ancient god clan shot out a ray of divine light, which turned into a dazzling light beam. The light beam pierced through the sky and swept towards the stone ape. After the great emperor of the ancient god clan attacked, a fourth great emperor appeared. This was the great emperor of the 9 mystical great world. This great emperor also attacked the stone ape, wanting to kill it. Dao Xingfa and Dao Wuyuan quickly retreated. They had the highest chance of killing the stone ape, but they didn't choose to do so. This was because they had already obtained boundless fortune. If they killed the stone ape and stole its fortune, they would become public enemies. Therefore, the two of them chose to watch the show. Of course, they were still in a highly concentrated state. As long as the stone ape was killed, they would immediately snatch the stone sword. The stone sword's value was too extraordinary. It was enough to make anyone go crazy. And the stone sword was an ultimate treasure that they had to get. Just as the attacks of the 4 experts were about to hit the stone ape's body. These were 4 great emperors. How terrifying would their attacks be? If the stone ape didn't resist, it would definitely be killed by the 4 experts. Swoosh, swoosh. Suddenly, the stone ape opened its eyes. What kind of eyes were those? They were ancient and full of vicissitudes. His 2 eyes seemed to contain 2 ancient worlds within them. The moment the stone ape opened its eyes, a heaven-suppressing aura emanated from its body. The stone ape has awakened. Seeing that the stone ape had awakened, many people exclaimed. The stone ape had awakened just before it was killed. It had awakened just in time. If it had been one step later, it might have been killed. The stone ape stood up and swung its right fist, sweeping it towards the four great emperors' attacks. Bang! Following a violent collision, the four great emperors' attacks were all destroyed by the stone ape. The stone ape's dazed eyes became sharper and sharper. Swoosh! He soared into the sky, wanting to leave this place as soon as possible. You can't escape. Stay alive. We'll kill you today. Die. The four great emperors' voices were extremely cold. Waves of destructive energy were emitted from their bodies. They all took out their great emperor weapons. Then, they attacked the stone ape. The great emperors used their great emperor weapons. The power released by the great emperor weapons was too strong, especially when the four great emperors used their great emperor weapons together. The attacks they unleashed were even more terrifying. The attacks from the four great emperor weapons landed on the stone ape's body and sent him flying. Seal the heavens and earth. The four great emperors' voices were indifferent. They activated their great emperor laws and completely sealed the huge square. Chapter 28:28. The four great emperors were determined to kill the stone ape. Regardless of whether the stone ape was the great sage, heaven's equal or not, one thing was certain. The stone ape's fortune was monstrous. Moreover, the stone ape was extremely ancient. Killing the stone ape would allow them to seize the fortune that originally belonged to the stone ape. This was what everyone valued the most. As long as they could seize the stone ape's fortune, only time would tell how far the stone ape could grow in the future. Boom! Terrifying energy waves surged from the emperor weapon. The weapons of the four great emperors were extremely powerful. The great emperor of the ancient god tribe wielded the sword of the gods. The sword of the gods was surrounded by holy light and exuded a mysterious power. It was rumored that the sword of the gods was a treasure left behind by the gods of the innate era. It was not forged by the great emperor of the ancient god tribe. It was a supreme emperor weapon. It was one of the top emperor weapons, and its power was unimaginable. Now that the great emperor of the ancient god tribe had activated it, the sword of the gods revealed the gods' shadows. The shadows of the gods let out earth-shattering chants as if they were chanting the ancient battle song of the gods. The energy waves of the sword of the gods became even more powerful and terrifying. The light of the sword of the gods illuminated the world. The dazzling sword light tore through the void and slashed toward the stone ape, trying to cut it in half. The dark phoenix took out a fire elemental emperor weapon called the blazing demonic axe. It was also a terrifying emperor weapon that the dark phoenix had obtained by accident. The blazing demonic axe was surrounded by fire elemental and demon elemental powers. Both powers were extremely powerful. When the fire elemental powers were activated, its power was even more shocking. The blazing demonic axe streaked across the void and slashed toward the stone ape. The celestial demon saint's weapon was a scepter called the celestial demon scepter. With a gentle wave, billions of demonic light surged out. The faint sound of war drums could be heard from the demonic light. Upon closer inspection, one could see that, within the demonic light, there seemed to be billions of demonic soldiers. Wherever the demonic army passed, all living beings had to avoid them. Otherwise, death would be the only outcome. The great emperor of the Nine Mysteries' great world held a Fonction halberd. The power of this halberd was simply too tyrannical. With a light sweep, the void collapsed. The power was so strong that it was shocking. The combined attack of the four great emperors was too terrifying. Although the stone ape was abnormally strong, it was no longer as strong as before with a stone sword in its chest. Moreover, he had just woken up, and his combat strength was far from recovered. Bam! Following a violent collision sound, the stone ape was once again sent flying by the combined attacks of the four. The stone ape is no match for the four great emperors. Looks like I'm really going to be killed. No matter how strong you were in the past, you are now a hero past his prime. You can't escape the fate of death. Many people started discussing and felt that the stone ape was doomed. The glory of the past was just a thing of the past to the present. With the birth of the stone ape, its combat strength was no longer at its original level. Perhaps if the stone ape was given time to recover, It should be able to return to its previous level, but no one gave the stone ape this time. The four great emperors wanted to take advantage of the fact that the stone ape had just woken up and had yet to recover its combat strength to kill it and steal its fortune. If it's the great sage, heaven's equal, will he use the 72 transformations, 3 heads, 6 arms, and other heaven-defying abilities? What about the great sage, heaven's equal supreme treasure, the Jingu Bang? If he doesn't use it now, when will he use it? Some cultivators were puzzled. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. He felt that although the stone ape was heaven-defying, it might not be the great sage, heaven's equal. It might be another stone ape. This feeling was very strong. Lin Feng didn't know why he had such a strong feeling, but he had always trusted his intuition. If it wasn't the great sage, heaven's equal, then who was this stone ape? It was so strong that it couldn't be unknown. Could it be the sacred battle ape? A thought suddenly appeared in Lin Feng's mind. It shocked even himself, but Lin Feng quickly rejected the idea. How could it be the sacred battle ape? Back then, the sacred battle ape's death had caused a huge uproar and even caused the monster race to suffer great losses. After such a long time, the monster race still couldn't return to their peak state. The stone ape didn't seem to want to fight to the death with the four great emperors. It tried to escape several times, but the four great emperors stopped it every time. Bang, 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 bang. The attacks of the four great emperors landed on the stone ape again and again. Crack, crack. Even a body as strong as the stone ape's began to split apart. It wouldn't take long. The stone ape might be killed soon. Roar. The stone ape roared. He suddenly grabbed the stone sword that was stabbed into his chest and pulled it out. Puff. Blood spurted out. This was the stone ape's blood, which was extremely precious. It was a pity that it spilled all over the ground. The stone ape's body knelt on the ground as he panted heavily. He had lost part of the stone ape's blood to pull out the stone sword. The stone ape must have been severely injured by this attack. Kill him while he's down. The four great emperors looked at the stone ape who was panting heavily. Their eyes were filled with killing intent. The four great emperors wielded their respective emperor weapons and attacked the stone ape. They wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to kill the stone ape. At this moment, the stone ape jumped up and waved the stone sword in its hand. The stone sword released a terrifying power in the stone ape's hand. Although the stone ape was severely injured, it still managed to push the four great emperors back with the help of the stone sword. It was a shocking scene. The four great emperors were sent flying a few hundred meters away. The stone ape soared into the sky and waved the stone sword, tearing apart the four great emperors' seal. It then quickly flew into the distance. He's already at the end of his rope. He won't be able to hold on for long. Chase. The four great emperors looked gloomy as they chased after the stone ape. Many people soared into the sky and chased after the stone ape. They wanted to watch the battle between the four great emperors and the stone ape. Maybe he can escape. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. He felt that the stone ape still had some tricks up its sleeve. It was enough for him to escape. The great emperors from the ancient god clan were chasing after the stone ape. If they couldn't kill the stone ape, they would have a headache when the stone ape recovered. Lin Feng and the rest didn't chase after the stone ape. They planned to return to their residence to rest before heading to the West Sea. Lin Feng was disappointed that he didn't get the stone sword. However, it was too difficult to get the stone sword now that it was in the stone ape's hands. Chapter 28-29. Young Master Nya was a very scheming and treacherous person. He was looking for Gongzi Yu not because of familial ties, but because he wanted to personally kill his half-brother and steal Gongzi Yu's the magic lotus. Young Master Nya would never forget his hysterical reaction when he heard that Gongzi Yu was recognized as the master of the magic lotus. Young Master Nya attached great importance to bloodlines and viewed Gongzi Yu as the disgrace of his family. How could a disgrace of his family be worthy of the magic lotus? Thus, young Master Nya only wanted to find Gongzi Yu and kill Gongzi Yu. He wanted to wash away the disgrace of his family. Now, he was getting closer to his goal. Last time, he almost killed Gongzi Yu, but unfortunately, he failed at the last step. Now that he met Gongziyu again, young Master Nya didn't want to let Gongziyu escape. Gongziyu looked up at young Master Nya and said, "Why are you being so fake? There's no need for this at all. Who are you putting on an act for?" Young Master Nya said, "My good little brother, how can you misunderstand your big brother like this? Your big brother is doing this for your own good, yet you misunderstand your big brother like this. Father misses you very much and even sent your uncle to take you back. My good little brother, come back with big brother. This is not your home. You are only a passerby in the 9 provinces. Come home with big brother. Our whole family is waiting for your return. Come on, there's no need to put on an act here. Plus, your acting is too clumsy. I'm about to vomit from watching it." Duzu couldn't help but curl his lips and look at young Master Nya with disdain. Young Master Nya looked at Duzu indifferently and coldly said, "Lowly creatures don't have the qualifications to interrupt, so you should choose to shut your mouth at this time." Young Master Nya's arrogance came from his bones. He looked askance at others and didn't put anyone in his eyes. He always thought that others were inferior to him because of the difference in bloodline. Therefore, Gongzong Nya didn't place anyone in his eyes. Duzu curled his lips and said, "You think you're so noble, but you're just a frog in a well. Today, this young master doesn't mind killing some ignorant fools." Young Master Nya's tone was indifferent. Even in the face of Lin Feng, Gongziyu, Fire Qilin, and so many other experts, he was still so arrogant. He had absolute confidence in himself. This was an innate confidence that had already fused into his soul. "You can give it a try." Duzu sneered. Boom! A powerful aura emanated from Gongzong Nya's body. The aura spread out and enveloped Duzu. Gongzi Nya really wanted to make a move against the poison ancestor and kill him. "Your opponent is me?" Gongzi Yu's voice was cold as he stopped Gongzini. "My good little brother, do you want to fight your good big brother? It's been a while since we last fought. Let me, your good brother, see if you've made any progress recently." Young Master Nya narrowed his eyes as he looked at young Master Yu. There was an inexplicable smile on his face. That smile looked very sinister and made many people feel a chill. Gong Nya raised his right hand and was about to send a palm strike at Gongzi Yu when an old voice came from the distance. "Young Master Nya, young Master Yu, the two of you are brothers. How can you fight in private? This will damage the relationship between brothers." An old man walked over. This was an old heavenly demon with a stooped body. He was truly too old, but no one dared to underestimate him. "New Bo." Gong Nya's pupil shrank when he saw this old man. He clearly didn't expect this old man to appear here. This new Bo had served 3 generations of heavenly demon emperors. Now, he was serving Gong Nya and Gongzi Yu's father. Although he was only a servant, no one dared to treat him as such. Even the heavenly demon emperors respected him quite a bit. Nubo rarely came out, but now that he had appeared in 9 provinces, Gong Nya had a premonition that something special was going to happen. Perhaps Nubo was here for Gongzi Yu? If that was the case, it would be troublesome. It would be very difficult for him to kill Gongzi Yu. All sorts of thoughts appeared in Gong Nya's mind. Gong Nya calmly said, "Nubo, why have you come to 9 provinces? Does Lord Father have any instructions for you?" Nubo said, "No, it's just that I'm old and want to come out for a walk. If I don't come out for a walk, I'm afraid my old bones will be completely crippled." "Nubo, you must be joking," Gong Nya said with a fake smile. Nubo said, "This old servant has a few words to say to young Master Yu alone. If young Master Nya has nothing else, please leave first." Gong Nya was furious because Nu Bo clearly wanted to stop him from dealing with Gongzi Yu. Was this Nu Bo's idea? Or was it Lord Father's idea? Gong Nya couldn't make up his mind. However, he didn't dare to go against Nu Bo's orders. "Yes, then this junior will take his leave." Gong Nya's heart was filled with grievances as he quickly left. Nu Bo looked at Gongzi Yu and said, "Young Master Yu, we haven't seen each other for many years." Nu Bo. Gongzi Yu bowed to the old man. In the past, Gongzi Yu was being hunted down. If it wasn't for Nu Bo secretly helping him, how could he have escaped time and time again? Now that he saw Nu Bo, he couldn't help but sigh. "Let's talk somewhere else," Nu Bo said. Gongziyu nodded and walked to the side with new bow, whispered something to Gongziyu. Gongziyu frowned at times and seemed to be thinking. However, what exactly were they talking about? This wasn't something that Lin Feng and the others could know. In the end, Nu Bo left. Gongziyu returned to Lin Feng and the others. Lin Feng didn't ask about the contents of their conversation. This was the privacy of others. No matter how close they were, it was best not to pry into each other's privacy. In the next few days, the outside world was in an uproar because a few more great emperors had appeared one after another to kill the stone ape. The stone ape failed to escape and landed in the ancient forest outside the city with injuries. Many people saw the hope of killing the stone ape. Even those quasi-emperors wanted to kill the stone ape. I wonder if the stone ape will be able to escape? Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. Such a powerful existence was truly a hero at the end of his road. Suffering such a calamity was truly lamentable. The stone ape has been discovered and is now being attacked. Chapter 28:30. After Lin Feng heard about this, he went to the ancient forest outside the city with Gongziyu, Fire Qilin, Du Zhu, and the others to watch the battle. Lin Feng wanted to see if he had a chance to obtain the stone sword. Now that he was in control of 2 stone swords, could he use the stone sword he controlled to attract the other stone sword over? If he could do that, it would be a heaven-defying opportunity for Lin Feng. By then, he would have 3 stone swords. These stone swords hid a huge secret. The more stone swords he obtained, the stronger his combat strength would be. Therefore, Lin Feng naturally wanted to obtain more stone swords. It would be even better if he could gather all 36 stone swords one day. If he could control 36 stone swords, it would be enough to destroy the heavens and destroy the world. By then, he would kill gods and immortals. A large number of cultivators gathered around the Broken Mountain Range. There was a huge battle going on in the Broken Mountain Range. 7 great emperors were attacking the stone ape. In addition to the previous 4 great emperors, 3 more great emperors had appeared. These 3 great emperors were from the Star Moon clan, a great emperor from the Sun God clan, and a great emperor from planet Zhonglan. The great emperors from the Star Moon clan and Sun God clan were the great emperors from the extraterrestrial forces and the myriad races. The great emperor of planet Zhonglan was the planet lord of planet Zhonglan. Planet Zhonglan was an extremely huge planet with life in the extraterrestrial world. This planet had given birth to many top experts. Planet Zhonglan's planet lord had broken through to the great emperor realm 27 million years ago. His strength was also quite strong. The 7 great emperors each had extraordinary strength. In addition, they all had supreme treasures. The stone ape was heavily injured. Therefore, after being attacked by the 7 great emperors, the stone ape's situation was extremely bad. The battle continued in the depths and the stone ape suffered, even though it had a stone body. Now, it was covered in injuries. The stone ape charged again and again, trying to break through the blockade. However, it was forced back by the 7 great emperors. It's useless. You will die today. The 7 great emperors sneered with killing intent. With these great emperors taking action, it seems like there's nothing left for us to do. Yes, we are destined to be just passers-by. The cultivators watching the battle frowned. With the 7 great emperors attacking, they had no chance to attack. Who would dare to fight with the great emperors for the prey? That was simply dancing on the edge of a sword. It was purely an act of seeking death. The stone ape's origins are extraordinary. In the past, it must have been a world-shaking existence. Now that it has fallen to such a state, it is truly lamentable. The Fire Qilin sighed. The stone ape tried to break out of the encirclement, but it still failed. It was forced back, and an even deeper wound appeared on its body. The stone ape's blood flowed out, and the stone ape's aura rapidly declined. Every time stone ape blood was lost, it would be a huge blow to the stone ape. Looks like he won't be able to hold on much longer. His current aura is much weaker than when he was just born. During this period of time, his injuries haven't recovered. Instead, they're getting worse. Lin Feng said. The stone ape was severely injured and could no longer hold on. Lin Feng could almost see the scene of the stone ape's death. Lin Feng lamented. What a terrifying existence in the past. Now, it had fallen to such a miserable state. It was truly lamentable. Boom! The 7 great emperors erupted, preparing an even more powerful attack. A terrifying aura filled the air. The combined aura of the 7 great emperors was simply shocking. A special magnetic field was formed within a radius of 100 miles, and no one could stand within that radius. Retreat. The surrounding cultivators turned pale and quickly fled. If they continued to stay here, they would most likely be killed. Everyone quickly left and stood 100 miles away to watch the battle. The 7 great emperors wanted to unleash their strongest attack to destroy the stone ape. Terrifying shockwaves shook the void, spreading between heaven and earth, covering all directions and shattering the universe. The attacks of the 7 great emperors grew stronger and more terrifying, causing everyone to turn pale. 7 great emperor weapons flew out. They hovered in midair, emitting endless great emperor's aura. Their aura suppressed the heavens. The 7 great emperor weapons attacked the stone ape at the same time. The stone ape floated in midair like a small boat in the middle of a vast ocean. It could be overturned by the waves at any time. It was like a flame burning in a lamp that could be extinguished by the wind at any time. The situation in front of them was naturally extremely dangerous. Bang! The stone ape was sent flying. The stone ape's blood splattered across the sky. The stone ape's body fell to the ground. He tried to struggle, but found that his body was no longer under his control. He's not dead yet, but he can't hold on any longer. The stone ape is about to be killed. After killing the stone ape, those great emperors will probably fight for the stone sword. Yeah, the stone sword is heaven-defying. Those great emperors will definitely be eyeing it covetously. The stone ape's corpse is extremely precious. It actually gave birth to the stone ape's blood. The value of the stone ape's blood is unimaginable. The surrounding cultivators discussed. The 7 great emperors continued to attack the stone ape with their great emperor weapons. They wanted to kill the stone ape. The stone ape was about to be killed. At that moment, a powerful force descended from the sky. It was a pillar of light. It enveloped the stone ape. The 7 great emperor weapons that were attacking the stone ape were all sent flying. Bathed in the pillar of light, the stone ape's aura recovered a lot. The pillar of light trembled. The 7 great emperor's seal was instantly torn apart. The stone ape quickly rushed out. There was an expert helping the stone ape in the dark. Seeing the stone ape escape, everyone was shocked. They thought that the stone ape would definitely die today. They didn't expect that the stone ape would still be able to escape. The expert didn't show himself. No one knew who it was. After the first attack, there was no more movement. Damn it, he ruined our plan. The 7 great emperors roared. They put away their great emperor weapons and quickly chased after the stone ape. Let's go and take a look too. Many cultivators chased after the stone ape. There were many twists and turns in killing the stone ape. There was a mysterious expert who didn't want the stone ape to be killed, but they didn't know who that mysterious expert was. The stone ape's speed was very fast. It flew towards the northwest. That's the direction of the 6 divine valleys. Is the stone ape trying to escape into the 6 divine valleys? A cultivator asked. The 6 divine valleys was a land of death. Although it couldn't be compared to the land of death in the Tianwu continent, it couldn't be underestimated. There were dangers lurking everywhere. Although many people took the risk to enter the 6 divine valleys to dig for stones, they were only digging in the outer area. They didn't dare to enter. The 7 great emperors knew what the stone ape was planning. They increased their speed, wanting to kill the stone ape before it entered the 6 divine valleys. But they failed. Chapter 28:31. Lin Feng and the rest stood outside the 6 divine valleys and looked into its depths. This was the first time Lin Feng had come to the 6 divine valleys. Intense fluctuations were emitted from the 6 divine valleys. These fluctuations were extremely strange. Perhaps it was because the 6 divine valleys was a land of death. Any land of death was filled with many strange things. Why are there so many top-grade stones in the 6 divine valleys? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. He didn't know what had happened to this place in the past, but it had formed a large amount of stones. Many of these stones were difficult to find in the heavens. They were the most precious stones. Perhaps only in a place like the Six Gods Valleys could one find such precious stones. It would be very difficult to find such precious stones in other places. I heard that it has something to do with the great changes in the heavens and earth. However, it happened too long ago. Much of the history is destined to be buried by the river of time. It will be difficult to find the truth, said Princess Shuiyao. She was a princess of the demon race. Her ancestor was a great emperor that was close to becoming an immortal. She knew some secrets that others didn't. There are many lands of death in many places. I wonder if there is a connection between these lands of death? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. He thought of the death zone of the Martial Heaven continent, the death zone of the 9 prefectures, and the death zone of the banished world. Lin Feng felt that there might be a connection between these lands of death. If that was the case, there might be some shocking secret hidden within. Princess Shuiyao said, I don't know if there is a connection. There are indeed many lands of death in many places. However, it is said that these lands of death are divided into different levels. Some of the secrets hidden in the lands of death are relatively small, while some of the secrets hidden in the lands of death are incomparably shocking. The lands of death in the Tianwu continent are the most terrifying of all. As for the specific reason, no one knows. These lands of death had mysterious origins. They had existed for a long time, and there were indeed too many secrets buried within. Now, even though the 7 great emperors had come together, they didn't dare to enter the 6 divine valleys to search for the stone ape. It was clear how powerful the 6 divine valleys were to the 7 great emperors. Naturally, the 7 great emperors couldn't be blamed for being too careful. They had to be careful. At their level of cultivation, they were extremely sensitive to danger. It was precisely because of this that they did not enter rashly. However, the 7 great emperors quickly came to an agreement and decided to enter to explore. They believed that with the 7 martial monarchs teaming up, they would be able to retreat safely even if they were in danger. Boom! The 7 great emperors emitted terrifying ripples from their bodies. Then, they entered the depths of the 6 gods' valleys together. Although the rest of the cultivators wanted to go in and take a look, they didn't have the guts to do so. The depths of the 6 divinities valley was an extremely dangerous place. It was the core of the land of death. Once one entered, the slightest carelessness could lead to death. Even the 7 great emperors were so cautious, let alone the other cultivators. 7 great emperors have entered the depths of the 6 divine valleys together. I wonder what will happen. Will the stone ape be found? This time, if the stone ape is found again, I'm afraid it will be hard to escape. Right now, the 7 great emperors are still allies. Just wait and see. If you really find the stone ape, the 7 great emperors will kill the stone ape and snatch the stone sword. At that time, they will immediately turn from allies to enemies. The cultivators outside were discussing. At this time, Lin Feng was wondering if he should go in and check out the situation. If he had the mysterious metal box on his back and some of his own tricks, he would be able to enter. Lin Feng believed that even if it was the land of death, he would be able to come and go as he pleased. Just as Lin Feng was thinking about this, a terrifying ripple came from the depths of the land of death. Rumble. Following that, the ground shook violently. Kacha, kacha. The veins of the ground cracked open, and a huge crack appeared. Large amounts of rocks, grass, and trees fell into the abyss. What's going on? Many people couldn't help but exclaim. They quickly soared into the sky and hovered in midair. The reason for this change was in the depths of the 6 divinities valley. No one knew what was going on. To think that there would be such a terrifying commotion. Let's go. A horrifying scream came from the depths. It was the voice of a great emperor. The 7 great emperors rushed out from the depths of the 6 divinities valley. Each of them looked panicked, as if they had seen something terrifying. With their cultivation bases, they shouldn't be acting like this. However, their expressions were indeed terrified. It was precisely because of this that people felt even more puzzled. What exactly did they see? Why were they so frightened? The 7 great emperors' hopes of escaping were doomed to fail. The black fog covered the sky and pulled the 7 great emperors back into the abyss. Ah! A blood-curdling scream was heard. No one knew which great emperor had met with a calamity. What's going on? The cultivators outside were dumbfounded. They didn't understand what was going on. With the strength of the 7 great emperors, what could possibly harm them? Wasn't the land of death a little too terrifying? Ah, ah, more blood-curdling screams were heard. That kind of miserable shriek was extremely mournful. It was simply tragic beyond compare, causing people to feel a kind of hair-raising feeling. Don't tell me all 7 great emperors have died in there? A cultivator asked with a trembling voice. Swoosh, finally, 4 blood-stained figures rushed out. They were the great emperors of the ancient god race, the great emperor of the sky demon race, the master of the azure star, and the dark phoenix. The remaining 3 great emperors, the great emperor of the 9 mystical world, the great emperor of the star moon race, and the great emperor of the sun god race, had died in the depths of the 6 divinities valley. The 4 great emperors who had escaped were severely injured. The great emperor of the ancient god race had almost been cut in half. The great emperor of the sky demon race had even been beheaded. The great emperor of the sky demon race had escaped with the head in his hand. One of the master of the azure star's arms had been torn off. The dark phoenix's chest had been pierced through. He was severely injured. If he wasn't a cultivator of the phoenix race, he would have died as well. It was hard to imagine what the 7 great emperors had gone through to have suffered such heavy casualties. We can't stay here for long. Let's go, Lin Feng said. He felt that the 6 divinities valley was too strange. They should leave as soon as possible. The group nodded and left the 6 divinities valley without stopping. 3 days later, in the West Sea, there was a change in the ancient kingdom of chaos. A chaos ancient bell appeared. The sound of the bell rang out from the ancient kingdom of chaos, shaking the heaven and earth. Chapter 28:32. The vast West Sea had been filled with many mysteries since ancient times. Because this place was close to the area ruled by Buddhism, cultivators rarely came here. Of course, there were many experts in the West Sea, and Buddhist monks often walked around the West Sea. This was a place that no one could underestimate. Whoever dared to underestimate the West Sea would be punished. The distribution of forces in the West Sea was rather complicated. There were many immortal islands, and it was said that there was also a dragon palace. Of course, there was also the sea race. In addition, there were also some powerful bandit groups. These bandit groups were extremely rampant. Therefore, the West Sea formed the so-called Pirate Alliance. There were rumors that the reason why the West Sea Island Alliance was so rampant was because the leader of the Pirate Alliance was a monk in the past. This monk was not a simple figure. He had an extraordinary status in Buddhism back then. It was said that he was the proud disciple of the 9 prefectures' Buddhist master. However, this person had evil intentions and stole the tantric scriptures of Buddhism. Therefore, he was expelled from Buddhism. However, his master still let him go because of their old relationship. The West Sea was one of the regions that had been relatively well preserved over the years. Although there were cultivators from the myriad races, extraterrestrial races, and other external forces who had arrived at the West Sea long ago. However, there were many monks in the West Sea. In addition, Buddhism's influence extended to the West Sea. Therefore, over the years, the myriad races, extraterrestrial races, and other external forces did not do anything excessive in the West Sea. Therefore, the West Sea had been relatively peaceful. Now, because of the primal chaos ancient nation, a large number of cultivators flocked to the West Sea. The Xinyuan ancient spaceship flew above the sea. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, Gongziyu, Fire Qilin, Princess Shuiyao, Little Rock King, and others were all on the Xinyuan ancient spaceship. Because Buddhism's territory spanned across a large territory in the western part of the 9 prefectures, no one could use the teleportation array to cross the Buddhism's territory. They first took the teleportation array to the North Sea region, then took the Xinyuan ancient spaceship to the West Sea from the North Sea region. The rest of the people also took a detour. Everyone tried their best to avoid Buddhism's territory. In the room, Lin Feng sat cross-legged and took out a chaos stone. This chaos stone was something Lin Feng obtained a long time ago. However, he was not able to comprehend the secrets of the chaos stone. The only thing Lin Feng knew was that this Chaos Stone seemed to be related to the primordial Lord of Heaven. When Lin Feng's spiritual force entered the Chaos Stone, a mysterious voice resounded in Lin Feng's mind. Primal Chaos, ancient country, innate world, burial ground of immortals. This was not the first time Lin Feng had gained insight into the Chaos Stone. Therefore, he had heard this sentence many times. Every time he heard this sentence, he would have a special feeling. The information contained in this sentence was too shocking. However, Lin Feng didn't know if the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation mentioned in the Primal Chaos Stone was the same Primal Chaos Ancient Nation as the one in the West Sea World. If they were in the same Primal Chaos Ancient Country, then it would be too shocking. Maybe the secrets of the Primal Chaos gems could be unraveled there? Lin Feng hoped that he could unravel the secrets of the Chaos Stone. This Chaos Stone definitely hid a huge secret. As long as he could unravel the secrets of the Chaos Stone, he would be able to unravel them. At that time, he might be able to obtain great benefits. This was also something that Lin Feng valued. Above the sea, powerful forces were rushing towards the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation. Myriad races, extraterrestrial races, and other external forces. In addition to these forces, there was also a cloud of black fog rolling above the sea. These were the creatures of the black fog. After they heard the news, they also rushed to the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation to search for opportunities. As creatures of the previous era, the creatures of the black fog were once extremely powerful. However, they were no longer in the era where they could roam freely. Now, their combat strength was sharply reduced. They needed to find powerful opportunities to recover their strength. There were more than a dozen creatures of the black fog, and all of them were on the move this time. The extraterrestrial creatures also quickly rushed to the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation. The extraterrestrial creatures had recovered their strength very quickly in the past few years. Although they were still far from their peak state, they were many times stronger than they were a few years ago. The Stone Puppet King was also rushing to the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation. He was the king of the Stone Clan, and his cultivation was unimaginably terrifying. Even the Azure Emperor was cultivating with the Stone Puppet King. In addition to the Qing Emperor, the Little Stone King was also cultivating with the Stone Puppet King. This time, the Stone Puppet King brought the Qing Emperor and the Little Stone King to the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation. Clearly, he wanted to take care of his two juniors. The Little Stone King was now dressed in white, and he was extraordinarily handsome. However, there was a haughty expression on his face that made him look unruly. Back when the Little Stone King was still sealed in the stone, his methods were extremely shocking. Later, he was suppressed by Lin Feng for a period of time. Of course, the two of them reached an agreement, and Lin Feng let him go. The Little Stone King's cultivation had now reached an extremely high level. More and more experts gathered in the West Sea World, so now the West Sea World was extremely lively. However, there were all kinds of people mixed in. Once the number of people increased, there would often be a lot of trouble. During this period, the West Sea World was not calm. Battles broke out from time to time, and there were even emperor battles. After more than 2 months, Lin Feng and the others finally saw the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation. It was a huge country shrouded in primal chaos mist. Looking from afar, the ancient nation seemed endless. There were ancient cities, dense forests, huge mountains, and crisscrossing abysses in the country. It was the landscape of a country, vast, majestic, ancient, and grand. It was filled with the heaviness and weight of history. Is it here? The burial ground of the immortals? Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. The Demon Lord said, "Maybe it is, and maybe it isn't. We need to go inside and explore." 3 days later, the ancient starship Xianyuan arrived at the outskirts of the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation. There were cultivators everywhere. They wanted to enter the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation, but there was no way to do so. I heard that some people have already entered. At this time, the news spread and caused a huge commotion. It was not that no one had entered the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation. In fact, some people had already entered in advance, but very few people had entered. How did those people enter? Many cultivators asked anxiously. They wanted to find out how to enter the Primal Chaos Ancient Nation. They couldn't wait to enter. I don't know. If I knew, would I still be here? I would have entered long ago, the cultivator who spread the news said. Lin Feng and the others walked down from the ancient starship Xianyuan. They hadn't seen the Great Peng King and the Peacock King for many years. They missed them. Lin Feng asked, "Didn't you say that the Great Peng King and the Peacock King are here? Can we contact them?" Chapter 28:33. Why can't we contact the Great Peng King? The Fire Qilin asked curiously. Lin Feng said, "Could it be that the Great Peng King has already entered the ancient kingdom of primal chaos? Is that why we can't contact him?" When everyone heard this, they felt that this was indeed a possibility. The ancient kingdom of primal chaos was very special. Once one entered, they might be able to isolate themselves from the outside world. Therefore, if the Great Peng King had entered the ancient kingdom of primal chaos, they might not be able to contact him from the outside world. "Let's try contacting the Peacock King," Lin Feng said. Princess Shui Yao attempted to contact Peacock King. She also communicated with Peacock King through a communication jade charm, but she quickly shook her head. She also failed to contact the Peacock King. There's a high chance that they've entered the ancient kingdom of primal chaos. It seems like the Peacock King and the Great Peng King are about to take that crucial step, the Fire Qilin said. Back in the Tianwu continent, the Great Peng King and the Peacock King stood at the peak. They were once the peerless geniuses of the monster race, the hope of reviving the monster race of the Tianwu continent. After coming to the 9 prefectures, their talents were fully displayed. Coupled with the awakening of their bloodline, their cultivation rose rapidly. According to the Fire Qilin, the Great Peng King and the Peacock King had entered the monster race's sacred ground to cultivate. That sacred ground could change the flow of time. A year in the outside world was equivalent to many years in the sacred ground. Therefore, the sacred ground played a crucial role in the Great Peng King and the Peacock King's cultivation. The Fire Qilin had always wanted to enter the sacred ground to cultivate, but he never got the chance. Now, the Great Peng King and the Peacock King were about to undergo the final transformation. One more step, and they would become great emperors. Lin Feng had already known about this before coming to the ancient kingdom of primal chaos. He knew about this very well, so Lin Feng was not too surprised. If the Great Peng King and the Peacock King can break through to the Great Emperor realm, it'll be a blessing for the 9 prefectures, Lin Feng said. That's right. Everyone nodded. A large group of cultivators flew over from afar. They were all cultivators from the myriad races. Lin Feng could sense several cold gazes locking onto him. Many of the cultivators from the myriad races wanted to kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng couldn't help but sneer, his heart filled with coldness. He and the myriad races definitely had an irreconcilable relationship. Right now, the cultivators of the myriad races wanted to kill Lin Feng so badly. However, they didn't have the chance to kill Lin Feng yet. Lin Feng saw young Master Nye. Young Master Nye had a very high status among the myriad races. Firstly, Gong Zhong Nye's background was extraordinary. Secondly, Gong Zhong Nye's combat strength was astonishing. Young Master Nye's charisma was really strong. Therefore, many cultivators of the myriad races were willing to follow young Master Nye. Young Master Nye looked indifferently at Gong Ziyu and said with a smile that didn't reach his eyes, "I really didn't expect my good little brother to come out and protect you. It looks like you're not without a backer in the Sky Devil race. But do you think it's enough with me protecting you? Your filthy and lowly bloodline is the greatest calamity. It's fated that you won't be able to obtain an important position in the race." Perhaps young Master Nye had been provoked by something, but he no longer concealed his hostility toward Gong Ziyu. Gong Ziyu's expression turned extremely ugly. Just as he was about to say something, Lin Feng patted Gong Ziyu's shoulder and said, "If a dog bites you, are you going to bite back?" "Ha ha, well said. I have to give you a big thumbs up, little Feng." The Fire Qilin laughed loudly. The others followed suit and laughed heartily. Gong Ziyu was usually calm and patient. He wouldn't easily reveal his emotions. However, this time, Gong Ziyu also smiled. "Brat, you dare insult me?" Young Master Nye gloomily looked at Lin Feng, his eyes flashing with killing intent. "So what if I insult you? You want to fight? Who's afraid of you? Let's see who will win." Lin Feng sneered. He had long since lost his patience with young Master Nye. Then this young master will personally kill you today. Young Master Nye's voice was cold. He began to circulate his magic power, seemingly wanting to attack Lin Feng. At this time, a myriad race cultivator beside young Master Nye said, "Young Master Nye, this isn't a place to fight. There are experts everywhere. Who knows how many people are eyeing us covetously? If you fight here, they might take advantage of the situation. It will be very troublesome then." Young Master Nye couldn't help but raise his brows. He nodded and coldly looked at Lin Feng. "I'll let you jump around for a while longer. Pray that you don't see me in the ancient kingdom of primal chaos. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die without a grave." Likewise, Lin Feng sneered. Young Master Nye's group quickly left. However, there were still many gazes looking at Lin Feng's group. Some had kind gazes, while others had hostile gazes. Lin Feng directly ignored them. "We need to think of a way to get rid of this guy. Otherwise, he'll definitely be a big problem," said the fire Qilin. He could sense how terrifying young Master Nye was. Gongziyu said, "Young Master Nye is far more terrifying than we imagined. If we encounter him alone, it's best not to clash with him. Instead, we should quickly leave him." Gongziyu had almost been killed by young Master Nye earlier. Thus, Gongziyu knew how terrifying young Master Nye was. That was why he was advising everyone. Day after day passed. Many people were looking for a way to enter the ancient kingdom of primal chaos. At the end of the day, a primal chaos bell suddenly flew out from the depths of the ancient kingdom of primal chaos. The bell hovered in the periphery of the ancient kingdom of primal chaos. Dang, 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 dang. The sound of the bell reverberated throughout the world, shaking the clouds. Many people were shaken when they saw the bell. It was definitely an immortal bell. Is that the legendary primal chaos bell? Is that the #1 bell in the world that Primeval Heavenly Lord forged using primal chaos stones? The fire Qilin's voice trembled slightly. Back then, Primeval Heavenly Lord had obtained a complete primal chaos stone and used it to forge the #1 bell in the world. That ancient bell was the famous primal chaos bell. There were too many legends about the primal chaos bell. It was like a myth. Countless people were searching for this supreme treasure. And now, this supreme treasure had appeared in the ancient kingdom of primal chaos. Even the primal chaos bell has appeared here. Could this really be the burial ground of immortals? Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter inwardly. Chapter 28:34. The Chaos Gem emanated waves of energy. The waves weren't strong, but Lin Feng could clearly sense them. The Primal Chaos Stone hadn't moved until the Primal Chaos Bell appeared. Lin Feng didn't understand why the Primal Chaos Stone had moved so quickly. Why was the Chaos Gem emitting such waves? Was it because of the Ancient Chaos Bell? If it was because of the Chaos Ancient Bell, then it would have changed. Did that mean there was a special connection between the Chaos Gem and the Ancient Chaos Bell? The Ancient Chaos Bell is an immortal artifact. What about the people who entered the Ancient Chaos Nation? Why didn't they try to collect it? A cultivator asked. Collect the Ancient Chaos Bell? Do you think it's that easy to collect it? The Ancient Chaos Bell is a heaven-defying supreme treasure. Who knows how terrifying its power is? Do you think it's something that can be collected so easily? If you're not strong enough, you'll only end up dead if you try to collect the Chaos Ancient Bell. Moreover, those who entered the Chaos Ancient Nation are probably searching for opportunities in the deeper regions. Now that the Chaos Ancient Bell is in the outer regions, they'll weigh the pros and cons and won't try to collect it. That's right. They might not be able to collect the Ancient Chaos Bell even if they come. They might even lose their lives. So, they might as well go look for opportunities. Some of the cultivators began to whisper to each other. The Ancient Chaos Bell quickly disappeared without a trace, flying to another location. When the Primal Chaos Bell disappeared, Lin Feng's Primal Chaos Stone calmed down. Is the Chaos Gem's change really related to the Ancient Chaos Bell? Lin Feng couldn't help but ponder. It was the same as his previous guess. Just what kind of connection is there? Lin Feng fell into deep thought. He wanted to enter the Ancient Chaos Nation. It would be best if he could find the Ancient Chaos Bell there. Lin Feng believed that if he could find the ancient chaos bell, he might be able to solve the riddle in his heart. More people have entered the ancient chaos nation. Then, shocking news began to spread. A group of cultivators had entered the ancient chaos nation. At that time, the chaos ancient bell rang and chaos holy light shone down. Those people were bathed in the holy light and entered the chaos ancient country. The cultivator who saw this said excitedly that holy light must be the key to entering the primal chaos ancient nation. This news spread like wildfire in the outer regions of the primal chaos ancient country. The primal chaos holy light will only appear when the primal chaos ancient bell appears. The fire Qilan said, then we can only wait. Duzu said. Everyone continued to wait for the chaos ancient bell to appear. 3 days later, the bell appeared again. The chimes of the chaos ancient bell contained the sound of the Tao. Whoosh! The chaos ancient bell sprinkled down a large amount of holy light. Many cultivators quickly rushed towards the sacred light and entered the sacred light. However, they were unable to enter the primal chaos ancient nation. Fire Qilan shouted, F***CK. What's going on? Isn't the holy light the key to entering the chaos ancient nation? Lin Feng frowned and said, we underestimated the situation. It seems like the holy light isn't the key to entering the primal chaos ancient nation. Many cultivators wailed, feeling depressed. They wanted to enter the primal chaos ancient nation, but in the end, this was the result. We need to find another way, Lin Feng said and flew into the distance. Gongziyu said, although the chaos holy light isn't the key, the way to enter the primal chaos ancient nation is definitely related to the chaos ancient bell. That's right. There must be a special relationship between the bell and the bell. It's just that we haven't discovered the secret yet. Duzu said. Princess Shuiyao said, could it be the sound? Hearing Princess Shuiyao's words, everyone's eyes lit up. It was very likely that the bell had something to do with the sound. Every time the chaos ancient bell appeared, it would emit a majestic chime. Thus, the chime played an extremely important role in the primal chaos ancient nation. The next time the chaos ancient bell appears, let's try to sense its chimes and see if there's anything special about it, Lin Feng said. The others nodded. They couldn't help but look forward to it. If their guess was correct, they might be able to find a way to enter the primal chaos ancient nation. Currently, the number of cultivators entering the primal chaos ancient nation was extremely small. Thus, if they could enter now, they might be able to obtain many great opportunities. If the primal chaos ancient nation truly appeared in the future, there would be many more cultivators entering it. At that time, it would be difficult to obtain great opportunities within the primal chaos ancient nation. With so many cultivators, the opportunities might belong to others. Another 3 days passed, and the chaos ancient bell appeared once again. Dong, dong, dong. The bell's chimes resounded throughout the world. Lin Feng and the others carefully sensed the chimes. However, Lin Feng couldn't find anything special. He held the chaos stone in his hand and used it as a medium to try to sense what was special about the chimes. However, the same thing happened this time. Lin Feng still couldn't find anything special. I can sense it. At that moment, Little Pong King suddenly exclaimed. Everyone was startled awake and looked at Little Pong King. Little Pong King waved his hand, and a golden light surged out and enveloped Lin Feng and the others. Then, Lin Feng and the others disappeared. Another group of people disappeared. The surrounding cultivators cried out in alarm. Sound, I know. It's sound. Every time the chaos ancient bell appears, there will be a chime. If someone enters the primal chaos ancient nation at that time, they must have sensed the chimes and entered the primal chaos ancient nation. A cultivator suddenly said, Sound? Many people were shocked. They waited for the chaos ancient bell to appear again and carefully sense it. A gentle force enveloped Lin Feng and the others and pulled them into another world. It was the world of the primal chaos ancient nation. They were passing through the distorted space outside the primal chaos ancient nation. They were constantly approaching the primal chaos ancient nation. Just as they were about to enter the primal chaos ancient nation, the power of space-time suddenly enveloped Lin Feng and the others. The power of space-time was so strong that it directly moved Lin Feng and the others to different places. Many secret planes were like this. Cultivators who entered together would be separated. Perhaps the expert who created the secret plane didn't want them to stay together. Instead, he wanted them to rely on their own methods to find their own opportunities. Whoosh! There was a flash of light. In the next moment, Lin Feng found himself in a deep water world. This should be a huge abyss. The water was extremely cold. Whoosh whoosh. Chapter 28:35. Those huge eyes flickered with a cold light, causing people to feel a sense of fear. What the hell is this? Lin Feng was stupefied. He quickly flew up. He cultivated the great water elemental art of the great 5 elements. Therefore, there was no difference between being in the water and being outside. Roar! Suddenly, a deep roar was heard. The terrifying creature opened its bloody mouth and tried to swallow Lin Feng. At that moment, Lin Feng saw what it was. The creature in front of him was actually a terrifying creature that looked like a crocodile. Its body was about 300 to 400 meters long, but it had a pair of huge wings. There was a horn on its forehead. It looked like a dragon horn. The creature's aura was so terrifying that it made Lin Feng's hair stand on end. The moment the creature opened its bloody mouth, Lin Feng quickly dodged and successfully avoided being swallowed by the terrifying creature. He was not in the mood to continue fighting with the creature. Lin Feng quickly flew up. However, the terrifying creature chased after him and rushed out of the water behind Lin Feng. It spat out energy balls one after another from its ferocious mouth. Those energy balls were all aimed at Lin Feng, wanting to smash Lin Feng to death. Lin Feng's body flickered, and he dodged the ball of energy released by the terrifying creature. His face gradually turned cold. Lin Feng took the initiative to charge at the monster and threw a punch at its head. With a loud bang, the monster was sent flying by Lin Feng's punch. With a splash, its huge body fell into the water. After taking Lin Feng's powerful attack, the monster knew Lin Feng's strength and did not dare to provoke Lin Feng again. Lin Feng quickly flew into the distance. He was now in a lake. The lake was rippling with blue waves and was very large. After flying for a short while, there was a violent fluctuation in front of him. Not long after, Lin Feng saw a ball of cursed light flying toward him. Within the ball of cursed light, there was a tiny puppet floating. Cursed doll. Lin Feng was stupefied. He hadn't thought he would run into the cursed baby. That bastard. After seeing Lin Feng, the cursed doll naturally did not have anything nice to say. It called out in a strange tone, "Oh, it's you. Long time no see. You're not dead yet." In the distance, there was a bloody mist rolling. There seemed to be some terrifying creature entrenched in the bloody mist. It was obvious that the cursed doll was being chased by the bloody mist. Lin Feng turned and ran. The cursed doll, that bastard, must have been attacked by the bloody mist. That was why it was in such a sorry state. "Don't run. We're old acquaintances, old friends," the cursed doll shouted and quickly chased after Lin Feng. Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes. He was speechless as he said, "Who's old friend with you? Don't flatter yourself. I'm not familiar with you. Don't follow me. Otherwise, I'll smash you into pieces." The cursed doll said, "You really hurt me. I treated you as my best friend, but you treat me like this. Your young heart must have received 100,000 critical hits today." Lin Feng did not believe a single word the cursed doll said. The cursed doll was vicious. It was good at scheming. It was better to believe a ghost than a ghost. Therefore, Lin Feng did not believe a single word the cursed doll said. If he did, he would probably be counting the money for the cursed doll even if he died from the cursed doll scheme. However, the cursed doll did not leave. It did not take Lin Feng's words to heart and continued to follow Lin Feng. Lin Feng slapped the cursed doll with a backhand. Whoosh! The cursed doll's movements were extremely agile. Like a bolt of lightning, it dodged the attack in an instant. It shouted, "Kid, it's a swarm of blood jade bugs chasing after us. This swarm of bugs is famous and extremely terrifying. If we don't leave now, neither of us will be able to escape when the time comes." After hearing the word swarm of blood jade bugs, Lin Feng's face sank. It was actually a poisonous bug. It was indeed an extremely terrifying poisonous bug. Whenever cultivators saw this type of poisonous bug, they would quickly retreat. This was because the blood jade bugs were not only poisonous, but they also had an extremely terrifying ability, which was to seal a cultivator's magic power. Once a cultivator's magic power was sealed, it would be a disaster for them. Many cultivators might have a way to deal with the blood jade bug's poison, but they definitely could not deal with the blood jade bug's forbidden technique. Poison and forbidden technique. The blood jade bugs were almost invincible. Wherever they went, there would be a bloodbath. No one could fight against the blood jade bugs. They had to quickly leave the swarm. Once they were surrounded, only death would await them. Lin Feng knew how terrifying the blood jade bugs were, so he did not continue to be entangled with the cursed doll. You go your way, and I'll go mine. We'll mind our own business. Don't provoke me, or you'll suffer. Lin Feng glared at the cursed doll fiercely and threatened. However, the cursed doll clearly did not care about Lin Feng's threat. The cursed doll laughed and said, "We should enjoy blessings and go through hardships together now. This is a good brother who goes through life and death together." Lin Feng rolled his eyes. How could this guy be so shameless? It gave Lin Feng the urge to punch this guy to death. Lin Feng could not be bothered with the cursed doll. He quickly flew into the distance at an extremely fast speed. The cursed doll's speed was not slow at all. Although it was just a puppet doll, it was extremely heaven-defying. Its speed was as fast as lightning, and it followed closely behind Lin Feng. In the end, Lin Feng and the cursed doll got rid of the blood jade bugs. Boom! Lin Feng exploded and charged towards the cursed doll. The cursed doll had mastered many secret techniques. Lin Feng did not mind suppressing it again and forcing it to reveal all its secrets. "Cursed true God! Cursed true God!" The cursed doll shouted. The power of the curse surged out. Within the power of the curse, an ancient god appeared. It was a cursed true god, exuding an evil aura. Bang! The cursed true god and Lin Feng engaged in a fierce battle. Both sides fought for dozens of rounds, but there was no clear winner. The cursed doll's cultivation had recovered extremely quickly over the years. Therefore, it was very difficult for Lin Feng to defeat the cursed doll. Chapter 2836. A loud noise came from the depths of the abyss, alarming both Lin Feng and the cursed doll. It was difficult to determine a victor between the two of them, so they did not continue fighting. Instead, they both looked towards the depths of the abyss. They had a feeling that there might be some kind of opportunity there. The two of them were very careful because the closer they got to the area, the more dangerous the aura became. Not long after, they saw a huge abyss. This was the abyss after the earth split open. Intense fluctuations came from the abyss, and immortal light surged out from it. Could it be the immortal Tao origin? When Lin Feng saw the celestial lights, he was astonished. The celestial lights contained pure strength, and now, the pure energy was able to make Lin Feng's magic power circulate by itself. This was too extraordinary. If it was not the purest immortal Tao origin, it would not be able to achieve this. "There must be something good down there," said the cursed doll. Then, it quickly rushed down. Lin Feng also rushed down the abyss. This abyss was extremely deep. The deeper they went, the colder it became. There was a gloomy and terrifying aura in the air, making Lin Feng's hair stand on end. The abyss was emitting an aura that made one's heart palpitate. Therefore, Lin Feng was very careful. He did not want to lose his life here before he could get any opportunity. That would be too unlucky. "Look, a pool. An immortal pool." The cursed doll pointed towards the depths of the abyss and shouted excitedly. There was a pool in the depths of the abyss. The pool was shrouded in immortal light, emitting waves of shocking fluctuations. Pure energy was surging out from the pool. Lin Feng was shocked. There was actually an immortal pool here. It was really unbelievable. He did not know what was in the immortal pool. He quickly rushed over. Before he reached the immortal pool, Lin Feng saw the immortal liquid in the immortal pool. It was the immortal elixir formed after the immortal Tao origin was condensed. It was truly extraordinary. After seeing the immortal elixir, Lin Feng's face lit up with excitement. If he could obtain the immortal elixir, his cultivation base would improve by leaps and bounds. Thinking of this, Lin Feng's face lit up with joy. However, before he and the cursed doll could reach the celestial pool, something happened. In the depths, the stone fog was rolling. A stone cow rushed out and stood beside the celestial pond. Its cold eyes stared at Lin Feng and the cursed doll. The quality of the first batch of cultivators isn't bad, although there are fewer people. A second terrifying existence walked out from the chilling wind. It was a skeletal cultivator with a bone saber in its hand. He could speak like a normal person, and two balls of willow, the wisps danced in his eye sockets. This was a terrifying creature, abnormally powerful and terrifying. It's understandable that there are fewer people in the first batch. It's just an appetizer. The third creature appeared and split open the void. It was a white snake that was more than a meter long. It stood upright, and its eyes were cold and terrifying. This was definitely a terrifying existence. Although its body wasn't big, its battle strength was heaven-defying. This place was a dangerous place set up by the three terrifying creatures. It was specially designed to lure cultivators into this place. Then, they would kill the cultivators who entered this place and devour their flesh and soul essence. The three creatures were good at scheming. In addition to their powerful cultivations, they were indeed able to scheme against many people. Lin Feng and the cursed doll were the first batch of living beings to be schemed against by them. Lin Feng said, "I didn't expect that after always hunting geese, I would be pecked in the eye today. However, it won't be easy for the three of you to keep the two of us here. Brat, you're too arrogant. Even if you have some cultivation, the three of us still don't put you in our eyes." The stone cow sneered and said with extreme confidence. Although he hadn't truly stepped into the Emperor realm, he had been at the peak of the quasi-Emperor realm for too many years. He had accumulated so much power that he didn't fear anyone. In addition, the skeleton and the white snake were also very strong. Naturally, the stone cow was very confident that he could kill Lin Feng and the cursed doll. "Attack!" Lin Feng shouted. He used the 1 Qi into 3 Pure Ones technique. He split into 3 and charged at one of the creatures. "You're courting death." The 3 creatures' voices were extremely cold. They instantly attacked Lin Feng. At this time, the cursed doll also attacked. That lowly creature dares to blaspheme the great path of curses. May the path of curses descend and use the power of curses to punish these lowly creatures. The cursed doll recited an incantation and used the Great Curse technique to deal with the 3 creatures. Lin Feng had learned the Great Curse technique from the cursed doll. Naturally, the cursed doll's use of the Great Curse technique was not something that Lin Feng could compare to. This was called specialization. Just from the name alone, one could tell how profound the cursed doll's mastery of the Great Curse technique was. Lin Feng's 1 Qi into 3 Pure Ones was extremely powerful. Moreover, the cursed doll was using the Great Curse technique to support him. Therefore, Lin Feng was able to block the attacks for a short period of time. "Bibi, it's your turn." Lin Feng hurriedly transmitted his voice to Bibi. The little girl had been cultivating in the mountain river ring. This period of time was also a crucial period for Bibi's cultivation. Therefore, Bibi was not very active. Now that she heard Lin Feng's call, she immediately disappeared from the mountain river ring and appeared next to the celestial pond. When Bibi was just born, she already had the ability to travel through the void. Therefore, Bibi's ability was extremely heaven-defying. Now that Bibi had been born for so many years, her various abilities had been greatly improved. This was especially true for her ability to travel through the void. She could now do it as if she was teleporting. Yeah. When Bibi saw the celestial liquid in the celestial pond, she immediately shouted excitedly. The celestial liquid was obviously very beneficial to her. When the stone cow, skeleton, and white snake saw the sudden appearance of Bibi, they were instantly enraged. They turned around and attacked Bibi. Bibi waved her claws and shot out a rainbow-colored celestial light that engulfed all the celestial liquid. Whoosh! She teleported and disappeared from the spot. In the next moment, she appeared next to Lin Feng. The stone cow, skeleton, and white snake's attacks all missed. Lin Feng sent Bibi back into the mountain river ring. Then, he quickly rushed outside with the cursed doll. He had just joined forces with the cursed doll to fight the stone cow, skeleton, and white snake. It was very difficult. They could not last more than a few rounds. Therefore, there was no need for them to continue fighting with these three terrifying creatures. Moreover, they had already obtained the celestial liquid. The most important thing now was to find a place to refine the celestial liquid. You can't escape. I'm going to kill you all. You all deserve to die. Chapter 28:37. Lin Feng and the cursed doll arrived in the forest. After choosing a direction, they sped up and flew in that direction. Moo! The bull's roar reverberated through heaven and earth, carrying endless anger and murderous intent. The stone bull quickly rushed out and chased after them. Next to the stone bull were the skeleton and the white snake. They were also filled with endless murderous intent, wanting to kill Lin Feng and the cursed doll. The immortal liquid was very precious. They used it as bait to lure others over. Now, the immortal liquid was snatched away by Lin Feng and the cursed doll. This made the stone bull, skeleton, and white snake extremely angry. Their hatred was overwhelming. Now, they only wanted to cut Lin Feng, the cursed doll, and Bibi into pieces to vent their anger. However, it was not easy for them to catch up to Lin Feng and the cursed doll. This was because Lin Feng was best at speed, and the cursed doll was unbelievably fast. In the end, the stone bull, skeleton, and white snake lost sight of Lin Feng and the cursed doll. The three terrifying creatures roared angrily and wantonly destroyed the surrounding forest to vent their anger. In a hidden cave, Lin Feng took out the immortal liquid that Bibi had obtained. Bibi had already tasted a lot of immortal liquid. Now that she was sleeping, she needed sleep to help her body digest the energy contained in the immortal liquid. The dragon rabbit also ate some immortal liquid and fell into a deep sleep. Lin Feng divided the remaining immortal liquid into two parts. One part belonged to him, and the other to the cursed doll. Although he had fought with the cursed doll earlier, the world of cultivators was so realistic. There were no eternal enemies or friends. There were only eternal benefits. Now, Lin Feng and the cursed doll were in an alliance. Wah wah wah. With this immortal liquid, my cultivation level can increase again. The cursed doll shouted excitedly and swallowed the immortal liquid. Then, it occupied a corner of the cave and began to refine the immortal liquid. Lin Feng also began to refine the immortal liquid. He was now at the 7th tier of the giant god realm. He wondered if the immortal liquid could increase his cultivation level by 1 or 2 tiers. In fact, Lin Feng did not have much immortal liquid. The immortal pool was not small. However, there was not much immortal liquid in the pool. In addition, Lin Feng did not have much immortal liquid. The dragon rabbit refined a portion and gave the cursed doll some. The Archean dragonesque elephant art was activated. Lin Feng gradually refined the immortal liquid into pure energy, and the pure energy was absorbed by Lin Feng's body. After devouring the pure energy's cultivation level, Lin Feng's cultivation level. 3 days later, Lin Feng had successfully broken through to the 8th gigantic god layer from the 7th gigantic god layer. After the breakthrough, Lin Feng's face, Bibi. Giant God Realm 9th tier, Giant God Realm 10th tier. 2 more realms to reach the peak of the Giant God Realm. At that time, after settling down for a period of time, he could try to break through to the Quasi-Emperor realm. Once he broke through to the Quasi-Emperor realm, there would be an earth-shaking change in his cultivation. Of course, Lin Feng also knew that with his savings, it would not be easy to break through to the Quasi-Emperor realm. He needed a heaven-defying opportunity to help him break through. Without such an opportunity, it would be as difficult as ascending to heaven to break through. After the breakthrough, there was still some immortal liquid left. The effect of the immortal liquid was much better than Lin Feng imagined. It was a pity that the amount was too little. Lin Feng did not continue to refine the remaining immortal liquid, because even if he refined it, it would not increase his cultivation level. He planned to use the immortal liquid to cultivate the Archean ancestral insect, Emperor Archaic Egg, and the great desolate demon refining insect queen. Lin Feng first fed the Archean ancestral insect larva a portion of the immortal liquid. After the larva swallowed the immortal liquid, it emitted waves of excitement. The Archean ancestral insect larva was still too young and fell into a deep sleep after swallowing the immortal liquid. Next, Lin Feng dripped another portion of the immortal liquid onto the Emperor Archaic egg. The cracks on the surface of the Emperor Archaic egg were becoming more and more obvious. Seeing those cracks, Lin Feng's face was full of joy, because the more obvious the cracks were, the time for the Emperor Archaic egg to hatch was getting closer and closer. Once the Emperor Archaic hatched, it would spread its wings and spread its wings. The heavens would collapse. Such power and prestige. How shocking would that be? Lin Feng fed the last portion of the immortal liquid to the great desolate demon refining insect queen. Now, the great desolate demon refining insect queen had already begun to lay eggs. This was the first stage of cultivating the great desolate demon refining insect queen. Laying eggs, hatching, larva, adult, and swarm. Once the swarm of great desolate demon refining insect queen was successfully cultivated, it would be extremely terrifying. It would be equivalent to having an army that he could carry around with him. Wherever he went, he would be invincible. Ha 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 ha, not bad, not bad. The immortal liquid is too effective. At this moment, the cursed doll woke up. Clearly, it had obtained many benefits as well, so it was laughing excitedly. The cursed doll then looked at Lin Feng and said, "If we work together, it'll be like two swords working together. Why don't we continue working together?" The cursed doll's methods were extraordinary, so it was naturally good to have it by his side. Of course, the prerequisite was that the cursed doll did not have any ulterior motives. Lin Feng said indifferently, "Why should I believe you? Hee hee, if I lie to you, I'll never be able to form a body of flesh in the future. You should believe me now, right?" The cursed doll said. Lin Feng raised an eyebrow. "Fine, I'll believe you this once." The ancient kingdom of chaos was very restless at night. The roars of beasts shook the sky, and many terrifying creatures roamed about. Lin Feng took out a chaos gem and observed it. Ever since he entered the ancient kingdom of chaos, the chaos gem had been surrounded by a faint layer of energy. "A chaos gem? You actually have something like this?" The cursed doll was very knowledgeable. When it saw the chaos gem in Lin Feng's hand, it was shocked. It quickly ran toward Lin Feng. Then, it stood beside Lin Feng and observed the chaos gem in Lin Feng's hand. The more it looked at the chaos gem, the more shocked it became. "You recognize this chaos gem?" Lin Feng could not help but ask. "It comes from the same source as the ancient chaos bell," the cursed doll said. "What? There's such a thing?" Lin Feng was shocked. The cursed doll's words were too shocking. If they came from the same source, did that mean the key to refining the ancient chaos bell was this chaos gem? If that was the case, it would be too exciting. Would he be able to refine the ancient chaos bell soon? Chapter 28:38. The cursed doll said, "I've heard of this before." Back then, Pengu obtained a very special chaos stone. He used this chaos stone to forge the chaos ancient bell, and the remaining materials were used to forge 9 smaller chaos stones. No one knows what these 9 chaos stones are used for, but your chaos stone is clearly one of them. Does that mean there are still 8 chaos stones? If the chaos stones are really related to refining the chaos ancient bell or even Penga's legacy, doesn't that mean that if the remaining chaos stones are obtained by someone else, that person will have the same chance as me to obtain the chaos ancient bell or even Penga's legacy? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. That is indeed the case. That's why it's hard to say who will obtain the chaos stone in the end. "Let's see how it goes," the cursed doll said. Lin Feng said, "The chaos stone will definitely be mine." The cursed doll said, "Who knows, this place might really contain Penga's legacy. Rumor has it that this place is the burial ground of the immortals." Lin Feng was shocked. He didn't expect the cursed doll to have heard of the immortals' burial ground. He said, "The immortals' burial ground is indeed the chaos ancient nation. I wonder if it's the chaos ancient nation in front of us?" The cursed doll said, "There's a high chance that it's this chaos ancient nation. However, I heard that a chaos ancient nation appeared in the celestial realm back then." I wonder if the Chaos Ancient Nation in the Celestial Realm is the same Chaos Ancient Nation in front of us? However, I'm guessing that they are the same Chaos Ancient Nation. Places like this are quite strange. They can freely travel through the void and appear in different worlds, just like this Chaos Ancient Nation we saw today. It has appeared in the 9 prefectures now, but the next time it appears, it might appear in the Undying Realm. Lin Feng agreed with this theory. It was indeed as the Cursed Doll said. A strange place like this didn't appear in a fixed world. It could appear in many places. Every few years, there would be a cycle. In the past, this Chaos Ancient Nation must have appeared in the 9 prefectures. After countless years, the ancient kingdom of primal chaos appeared once more. Lin Feng only wanted to explore the secrets of the Stone of Primal Chaos. He wanted to know if he could use this Stone of Primal Chaos to refine the Primal Chaos Ancient Bell or obtain Panga's orthodoxy. Of course, in addition to this, Lin Feng wanted to obtain some great opportunities in the Primal Chaos Ancient Country to see if he could break through to the Quasi-Emperor realm. Although Lin Feng knew that this was not an easy matter, even if he couldn't break through to the Quasi-Emperor realm, he had to at least break through to the peak of the Giant God realm. If he really couldn't find the opportunity to break through to the Quasi-Emperor realm, he would kill the son of the Sky Demon Emperor and snatch his black flame devouring God fire. If he could refine the black flame devouring God fire, he should be able to break through to the Quasi-Emperor realm. For the next few days, Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll explored the ancient kingdom of primal chaos together. This duo specialized in finding powerful, ferocious beasts and then working together to deal with them. This was because many powerful, ferocious beasts were guarding precious heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Therefore, during this period of time, Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll obtained a lot of top-grade heavenly materials and earthly treasures. On this day, Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll entered a black desert area. This place was shrouded in black fog and emitted waves of gloomy and cold aura. The gloomy and cold aura permeated between heaven and earth. It was terrifying and gloomy, causing people to feel terrified and moved. Cultivators came to this black desert one after another. Many of them looked coldly at Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll, harboring malicious intentions towards them. It seems that more and more cultivators are entering the ancient kingdom of primal chaos. The Cursed Doll sneered and looked at the surrounding cultivators with a gloomy gaze. The other cultivators should be glad that the Cursed Doll didn't have any ideas about them. There were actually people who dared to have ideas about the Cursed Doll. Weren't they courting death? They were simply courting death. Lin Feng said, "The method of entering the ancient kingdom of primal chaos will definitely spread. Moreover, it has been a long time since the first batch of cultivators entered the ancient kingdom of primal chaos. It's normal for others to gradually find out about the method of entering the ancient kingdom of primal chaos. We don't know where the first batch of cultivators is now. As the first batch of cultivators to enter the ancient kingdom of primal chaos, they must have obtained a lot of opportunities." "Yeah, I'm so jealous," the Cursed Doll said gloomily. In the end, the surrounding cultivators didn't attack Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll. Although Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll didn't look like powerful characters, since they dared to act alone, they might have some unknown and terrifying methods. Therefore, the surrounding cultivators didn't dare to test Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll. If Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll's cultivation level were ordinary, then so be it. However, if they were experts, then they would all die without a burial place. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Suddenly, a dense pack of terrifying creatures flew out from the black desert. They were palm-sized black scorpions. Each scorpion emitted a cold and terrifying aura. After seeing the black scorpions, Lin Feng's face couldn't help but reveal a horrified expression. The flying devil scorpion turned out to be such a terrifying creature. It was a kind of creature that lived in groups. Because it contained a highly toxic poison, its attack power was powerful, and its defense was astonishing. Therefore, it was best to retreat when encountering such a terrifying creature. If one was surrounded by such a creature, the consequences would be disastrous. It's the flying devil scorpions. Hurry up and run. Many people screamed in horror and quickly fled into the distance. However, it was too late. A large number of flying devil scorpions drilled out from the ground and pounced on the fleeing cultivators. Many cultivators were swallowed by the flying devil scorpions and died on the spot. "Hurry up and run," Lin Feng said in a low voice as he quickly left with the cursed doll. In the next few days, more and more cultivators entered the Black Desert. There were even great emperors. There must be something shocking in the Black Desert. Otherwise, great emperors wouldn't have come to a place like this. Lin Feng said, "Wait here for a while. I'll go and ask around," the cursed doll said. Lin Feng sat down on a sand dune and had a rest. Lin Feng sat down on a sand dune to rest. 2 hours later, the cursed doll returned. "How was it? Did you manage to find out anything?" Lin Feng asked. Chapter 2839. The news brought by the cursed doll was too shocking. An ancient kingdom? Moreover, it was built by the Devil Lord? If this news was true, then it was simply earth-shattering news. It was too shocking and moving. No one dared to believe this news. Is the rumor reliable? Lin Feng could not help but ask. This news sounded too unbelievable. If it was true, the Devil Lord's legacy might be hidden in the kingdom. There's no smoke without fire. Since the news has spread like wildfire, there is a certain degree of credibility to it. Moreover, more than one great emperor has come here. The cursed doll said. The arrival of those great emperors seemed to confirm the accuracy of the news. That kingdom hasn't been found yet, right? Lin Feng asked. Yes, it hasn't been found yet. Many people have been searching everywhere for the whereabouts of that kingdom, but there has been no progress. Even the great emperors who came here are at their wits' end, the cursed doll said. Lin Feng couldn't help but scratch his chin and say, "That's interesting. I don't know how many secrets are hidden in that country. We can also go and find them. If we can find that country and enter it before other people, maybe we'll be able to obtain the treasures." Many cultivators had the same idea. They would find the mysterious kingdom before others. As such, as the cultivators who found the kingdom first, they would be the ones who had the highest chance of obtaining the opportunity inside. This would make many people go crazy in their search for the mysterious kingdom. However, the Black Desert was a place filled with dangers. For example, the flying demonic scorpions from before were exceptionally dangerous. Once surrounded, death was almost certain. Apart from the flying demonic scorpions, there were other dangers in the Black Desert. There were more than just a few types of terrifying insects here. Many of them were terrifying. Of course, the most terrifying was the Black Storm. When the Black Storm swept across the world, even great emperors would have to stay away from it. Thus, the Black Storm contained an extremely terrifying power that could even tear apart a great emperor's body. Lin Feng and the cursed doll searched for many days, but they were unable to find the ancient kingdom. On the 7th night, a bright moon rose in the sky. It was supposed to be a peaceful night, no different from any other night. But in the latter half of the night, the bright moon turned into a crescent moon. Eclipse of the moon. Many people were alarmed. Tonight, there was actually a phenomenon of the heavenly dog eating the moon. Many people felt that something unknown would happen. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Not long after this phenomenon appeared, the earth began to shake violently. Late at night, a black storm swept across the world. It wreaked havoc in the void. "Hurry up and run," many people cried out in fear. If they were sucked into the black storm, they would die without a doubt. Therefore, everyone had to dodge the black storm in a sorry state. "Go, go, go," Lin Feng said and quickly flew into the distance. Nothing good ever happens during the lunar eclipse. Back then in the heaven realm, when the heavenly dog devoured the moon, many immortals died. The cursed doll cried out loudly. Lin Feng was shocked. He had heard the cursed doll talk about the heaven realm before, so Lin Feng asked if the cursed doll had been to the heaven realm before, but the cursed doll denied it. The cursed doll then told Lin Feng. The cursed doll had only heard about the heaven realm before, but now, the cursed doll had revealed that the cursed doll had been to the heaven realm before. "Didn't you say you had never been to the heaven realm before?" Lin Feng looked at the cursed doll with an annoyed expression. The cursed doll knew that it had let the cat out of the bag, so it smiled awkwardly and said, "Cough, cough. Did I say that? Why don't I remember?" The cursed doll immediately played dumb. Lin Feng had the urge to slap the cursed doll. The black storm wreaked havoc for an entire night. Lin Feng and the others also ran for an entire night. Some unlucky cultivators were sucked into the black storm and died. When dawn arrived, the black storm dissipated. Everyone could finally breathe a sigh of relief. What's that? Suddenly, someone pointed into the distance. The spire of a huge pagoda appeared in their line of sight. The ancient kingdom. It must be the ancient kingdom. Soon, a cultivator shouted excitedly and quickly rushed toward the spire of the pagoda. The ancient kingdom has appeared. Lin Feng could not help but feel excited. That ancient kingdom was too extraordinary. It was very likely the ancient kingdom that had been passed down by the Devil Lord. Would there be immortal pills or immortal origins? Would there be the Devil Lord's inheritance? Lin Feng did not ask for too much. He only needed to obtain one of those things. Obtaining immortal pills or immortal origins could increase one's cultivation level. Although obtaining the Devil Lord's inheritance could not increase one's cultivation level, after cultivating the Devil Lord's inheritance, one's combat strength would increase greatly. It was equivalent to increasing one's foundation and foundation. For cultivators, this was naturally very important because it was equivalent to strengthening one's Dao foundation. It was very important for one's future. Lin Feng and the cursed doll increased their speed to the maximum as they flew toward the spire of the pagoda. At that moment, 3 figures arrived at that place as if they had teleported. They punched a hole in the ground, revealing a huge group of underground palaces. Then, the 3 cultivators entered the underground palaces ahead of time. They were the 3 great emperors who had come here. They were Great Emperor Xiexing of the myriad tribes. He had gone to the Red Dust Immortal sect to kill the Red World Fairy. However, he was beaten half to death by the Red World Fairy. In the end, he relied on a secret technique to escape. Although he had recovered a lot of his strength, there was still a big gap between him and his peak. The second Great Emperor was Planet Lord Songlan. He had lost an arm and his vitality was damaged. The third Great Emperor was also a Great Emperor from the myriad tribes. He was a Great Emperor from the fallen angel race with 36 pairs of wings. This Great Emperor was at his peak. The 3 Great Emperors were the first to enter the ancient kingdom. The rest of the cultivators quickly flew over and headed down. The ancient kingdom was sealed under a powerful seal. The black storm had torn apart a part of the seal, which was why such an entrance had appeared. Chapter 2840. In the end, Lin Feng and the cursed doll landed on the ground. One after another, quite a number of cultivators landed as well. However, many of them did not stop. Instead, they turned around and flew deeper into the tower in search of their own fortune. Lin Feng and the cursed doll raised their heads to look at the colossal tower. The colossal tower was simply too extraordinary. Most importantly, it was simply too big. It was hundreds of thousands of meters tall. Such a colossal tower was simply too shocking. Could it possess an extraordinary origin? Runes, very ancient runes. Lin Feng noticed some mysterious runes on the surface of the colossal tower. They were very ancient, and he did not know what they meant. Lin Feng and the cursed doll were not the only ones inspecting the colossal tower. Some other cultivators were also inspecting the colossal tower. Seeing such a colossal tower, they could not stop their imaginations from running wild. This colossal tower must be hiding a great secret. Look at those runes. They are simply too mysterious. Let me see if I can collect this colossal tower. One of the cultivators said impatiently. He wanted to try collecting the colossal tower. However, his attempt ended in failure. Collecting the colossal tower was easier said than done. The cultivator said with a grim expression. There is no way to collect it. Let's go. Let's go find other fortunes. The cultivator and his companions quickly left. In a place of fortune, there was a need for such decisiveness. If they were to waste too much time on an unobtainable treasure, they might end up missing out on even more treasures. Take it away. The cursed doll flew out as well, wanting to try collecting the colossal tower. However, despite exerting all its strength, the cursed doll was still incapable of collecting the colossal tower. The cursed doll swore. What kind of broken toy is this? The way I see it, it is not a treasure at all. If it is a treasure, There is no way it is not moving at all. Lin Feng said, "Let me give it a try." After saying that, formidable magic powers surged out. The magic powers kept surging towards the colossal tower to envelop it. Next, Lin Feng attempted to collect the colossal tower. It was as the curse doll had said. The colossal tower did not move at all. Lin Feng frowned. It would appear that there was no way to collect the colossal tower. Could it be that this huge pagoda wasn't a magic treasure? Just as Lin Feng was about to give up, the runes on the ancient devil ring on Lin Feng's right arm suddenly emitted a slight fluctuation. The origin of the ancient devil ring was incomparably mysterious. However, it was said to be one of the 5 supreme treasures of the devil world. This treasure was incomparably demonic. No one knew who had forged this supreme treasure. Lin Feng was unable to throw away the ancient devil ring. Therefore, he let the ancient devil ring turn into a devil ring rune that coiled around his arm. Normally, the ancient devil ring had been quite obedient and did not have any special movements. However, today, the ancient devil ring had undergone a change. This was the first time the ancient devil ring had undergone such a change. Could it be related to this giant tower? The runes on the tower seemed to be moving. Lin Feng looked at the huge tower in front of him in shock. Originally, the runes were motionless, but now they were moving. This greatly surprised Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng discovered that the curse doll did not seem to have noticed the change in the tower. Instead, it was constantly urging him to leave this place and look for other opportunities. It did not want to waste any more time here. Was he the only one who noticed the runes moving? Was it related to the ancient devil ring? Lin Feng could not help but take a deep breath. He tried his best to calm himself down. Then, Lin Feng tried to sense the runes on the tower. This bastard has gained enlightenment? Seeing Lin Feng close his eyes and immerse himself in a mysterious state, the cursed doll looked at Lin Feng in shock. Its eyes were filled with envy and jealousy. Boom! At this moment, waves of violent fluctuations surged out from the giant tower. Lin Feng sensed the runes. He had established a connection with the huge tower. A terrifying emperor's aura filled the air. This huge tower was actually formed from an emperor weapon. Loud rumbling sounds could be heard. The huge tower shook continuously. Even the earth was shaking along with the tower's movement. The runes on the tower awakened at this moment. Heavenly Mystery Pagoda. It has seen the light of day again. Suddenly, a deep voice sounded in Lin Feng's mind. It seemed like the tower spirit was transmitting a message to Lin Feng. Then, a large amount of information poured into Lin Feng's mind. This information included some information about the tower itself, as well as its origin. It turned out that this huge tower was called the Heavenly Mystery Pagoda. It was an emperor weapon forged by a great emperor called the Heavenly Mystery Emperor. This huge pagoda was an extremely rare defensive magic treasure. One had to know that when a cultivator forged a natal treasure, they would usually choose to forge an attack-type natal treasure. However, the Heavenly Mystery Emperor was different. In the past, the Heavenly Mystery Emperor was cautious and sought stability in everything. It was the same even when fighting against other cultivators. First, he would be invincible. Then, he would look for a way to defeat or even kill his opponent. Therefore, when the Heavenly Mystery Emperor was forging his natal treasure when he was young, he forged the Heavenly Mystery Pagoda into a defensive treasure. Of course, an emperor weapon had many uses. For example, the Heavenly Mystery Pagoda was not only a defensive treasure, but also an offensive treasure. However, the Heavenly Mystery Pagoda's offensive power was far inferior to its defensive power. Boom! The Heavenly Mystery Pagoda quickly shrunk until it was the size of a palm and floated in front of Lin Feng. Lin Feng grabbed the Heavenly Mystery Pagoda in his hand and fondled it lovingly. Now, Lin Feng had many treasures on him, but he lacked a powerful defensive treasure. With this emperor weapon, the Heavenly Mystery Pagoda, Lin Feng's defensive power had increased greatly. Even if some great emperors wanted to kill him, it would not be an easy task. Emperor weapon. It's actually an emperor weapon. Your luck is so good that it's off the charts. So many people have tried to get this treasure, but none of them have succeeded. Yet, you brat got it. The cursed doll said sourly. It was an emperor weapon, and a defensive one at that. Its value was unimaginable. The cursed doll was envious of Lin Feng's luck. Hee hee, my luck is really good. Haha. Lin Feng grinned. This treasure is barely enough to catch this young master's eye. Kid, hand it over. At that moment, over 100 cultivators flew over. The leading cultivator looked at Lin Feng indifferently. This cultivator was shrouded in holy light. He was like a saint who had descended into the world. His body emitted a compassionate aura. Anyone who stood in front of him would feel ashamed of their inferiority. This was a cultivator from the sacred god tribe. They were the #1 tribe among the 10,000 tribes. Chapter 28:41. There were about 50 to 60 royal families in the myriad races. Among these royal families, the sacred god clan was ranked first in terms of strength and foundation. The reason this clan was terrifying was because they had a very long lifespan. Moreover, it was said that there were a few ancient experts who had existed before the chaotic ancient era. After living for such a long period of time, he wondered how powerful his cultivation had become. The sacred god clan gradually stood out from the dozens of royal families and gradually became the #1 race among the myriad races. It was because those old antiques were simply too intimidating. Of course, in addition to their strong foundation, the sacred god clan's talent was also extremely tyrannical. Regardless of whether it was the older generation, the middle generation, or the younger generation, the sacred god clan had top experts who could shoulder the burden. Moreover, these top experts were not as simple as 1 or 2 people, but a group of them. This was too terrifying. This was the accumulation of a top force over countless years. It was not something that those emerging forces could compare to. For example, a colossus like the sacred god clan, even if a few or even a dozen top experts died, it would not hurt them. However, some emerging forces were different. If 1 or 2 experts died, the force might collapse. This was Lin Feng's first time coming into contact with a sacred god clan cultivator. This sacred god clan cultivator was indeed incomparably arrogant. He looked at Lin Feng from the corner of his eyes and did not put Lin Feng in his eyes at all. Scram. Lin Feng looked coldly at the sacred god clan cultivator. To deal with such a self-righteous person, he absolutely could not choose to compromise. He had to use violence to curb violence. After hearing Lin Feng's reprimand, the sacred god clan cultivator froze on the spot. The hundreds of thousands of cultivators gathered around the sacred god clan cultivator were all dumbfounded. Some of the cultivators who were watching the show were also dumbfounded. Someone actually dared to reprimand the sacred god clan cultivator and tell him to scram. This was simply audacious to the extreme. That guy is Sheng Yuanshu, right? He is a direct descendant of the sacred god clan. He is talented and ruthless. Now that kid dares to tell Sheng Yuanshu to scram. There will be a good show to watch. Just wait and see. Sheng Yuanshu will definitely not let that kid off. Human cultivators, you despicable race. This brat's luck is truly heaven-defying. He managed to obtain an emperor weapon. I'm afraid his background is extraordinary. It's very likely that he's a cultivator from the human race in the other realms. No matter where the human cultivators are from, as long as they are human, their bloodlines are inferior. Some cultivators of the myriad races sneered, looking down on the human race. In their eyes, the status of humans was no different from that of ordinary livestock. The myriad races had always thought highly of themselves. In their eyes, the status of the human race was naturally incomparably low. For example, Lin Feng's hostility towards these myriad races was not without reason. If someone treats us Huaxia people as slaves and livestock, who wouldn't be filled with righteous indignation and rage? Sheng Yuanshu was also stunned for a long time, as if he couldn't believe what he had just heard. However, when he came back to his senses, he looked at Lin Feng with killing intent in his eyes. Someone actually dared to tell him to get lost. This was simply the greatest humiliation to him. When had Sheng Yuanshu ever suffered such humiliation? His eyes were extremely gloomy as he looked at Lin Feng eerily and said coldly, "You're indeed a despicable race. You don't use your brain when you do things. Today, I'll let you know that if you offend someone you can't afford to offend, you'll only end up dead." Sheng Yuanshu said and waved his hand. Suddenly, 7 or 8 cultivators of the myriad races stepped out and surrounded Lin Feng. The cursed doll laughed loudly. Ha 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 ha, this is going to be a good show. Take care of this thing that's neither human nor ghost. Shang Yuanshu pointed at the cursed doll. The cursed doll was originally looking forward to watching the show, but when it heard Shang Yuanshu's words, it flew into a rage. He was neither human nor ghost. How could Shang Yuanshu use such an adjective to describe it? Wasn't this insulting? After Shang Yuanshu's order, 7 or 8 cultivators of the myriad races also pounced on the cursed doll. Ha 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 ha, serves you right. Lin Feng couldn't help but laugh as he looked at the cursed doll with a gloating expression. Boom! The cultivators who surrounded Lin Feng and the cursed doll attacked at the same time. These cultivators of the myriad races were quite strong. However, they were still too weak in front of Lin Feng. Facing these cultivators of the myriad races, there was no need for him to be polite. Lin Feng's body swayed, leaving only an afterimage. Slap, slap, slap. Then, the sound of slapping could be heard one after another. The cultivators of the myriad races who surrounded Lin Feng were sent flying by Lin Feng's slap. Their faces were all swollen, and they looked extremely miserable. The cultivators of the myriad races who surrounded the cursed doll were even more miserable as their bodies began to rot. The cursed doll used the power of curses to curse the cultivators of the myriad races. These cultivators screamed miserably. The surrounding cultivators were shocked when they saw this scene. No one expected Lin Feng and the cursed doll to be so powerful. It's him. I recognize that human brat. Suddenly, a cultivator from an extraterrestrial race exclaimed. He had been observing Lin Feng. The more he looked at him, the more familiar he felt. Now, he recognized Lin Feng's identity. Who is he? Many people asked curiously. Countless people had heard of Lin Feng, but very few had seen Lin Feng. Therefore, no one knew who Lin Feng was. He's Lin Feng, the extraterrestrial cultivator said with a trembling voice. The name Lin Feng was definitely hated by the myriad races, the extraterrestrial races, and the other cultivators from the outside world. However, the name was also very intimidating. The cultivators from the three forces could not help but feel their hearts palpitate. No one expected the young cultivator in front of them to be the legendary Lin Feng. I didn't expect it to be him. This is even more interesting. I wonder how Xing Yuanshu will deal with this Lin Feng? The cultivators of the myriad races, the extraterrestrial races, and the other cultivators from the outside world looked at the two sides with great anticipation. Shang Yuanshu also heard the discussions of the cultivators. He looked at Lin Feng in surprise and sneered. I didn't expect you to be that Lin Feng. I've long heard of your reputation. During this period of time, you've done a lot of things and even killed many experts from the myriad races. However, since you've met me today, consider yourself unlucky. Chapter 2842. Shang Yuanshu's cultivation was extremely strong. He was one of the top experts of the sacred god clan's younger generation. Therefore, he was extremely arrogant and confident in his own strength. Lin Feng was famous. But so what? Shang Yuanshu was also very confident in himself. He had been able to defeat a boundary emperor who had reached the 90th step many years ago. So many years had passed. Shang Yuanshu's cultivation had improved by leaps and bounds. Therefore, Shang Yuanshu was very confident in defeating Lin Feng. They're going to fight. They're going to fight. The cursed doll shouted from the side, as if it wanted to see the world in chaos. Sacred God Fist. Shang Yuanshu attacked and punched towards Lin Feng. Endless sacred light surged within Shang Yuanshu's body, making him look extremely holy. The sacred light lingered around Shang Yuanshu's body, making him look like an immortal Buddha. The current Shang Yuanshu was like a saint from the primordial era. His compassionate aura made people involuntarily want to kneel on the ground and kowtow to him. The reason why the sacred god clan was so terrifying was because of their bloodline. It was said that the sacred god clan had inherited two types of bloodlines. One of them was called the heavenly sacred blood, and the other was called the earthly sacred blood. The two types of bloodlines complemented each other and promoted each other. Therefore, the power of the two types of bloodlines was extremely powerful and terrifying. Of course, not all Sacred God clan cultivators could awaken two types of bloodlines. Only a very small number of people could awaken two types of bloodlines. Shang Yuanshu happened to be someone who had awakened two types of bloodlines. Therefore, the power of his bloodline was extremely terrifying. After awakening two types of bloodlines, one could cultivate many of the Sacred God clan's top divine abilities. For example, the Sacred God Fist that Shang Yuanshu was using now was said to have been created by an ancient expert of the Sacred God clan. It was a divine ability that was created based on the characteristics of the Sacred God clan's bloodline. After the Sacred God Fist was used, the two types of bloodlines in the Sacred God clan cultivator's body would awaken and provide great power. The power of the Holy God Fist would also increase tremendously with the support of the two bloodline powers. Just like now, the power of Shang Yuanshu's punch was terrifying to the extreme, enveloping Lin Feng and sealing off the space-time around Lin Feng, making it impossible for Lin Feng to dodge. He had no choice but to take Shang Yuanshu's punch head-on. What a terrifying punch! Shang Yuanshu is indeed worthy of being a cultivator of the Sacred God clan. His strength is really too strong, enough to suppress many experts of the older generation. That brat is definitely no match for Shang Yuanshu. Just wait and see, that brat is dead for sure. Among the crowd, the practitioners of the myriad races, extraterrestrial races, and other foreign forces were all talking about it. They all looked at Lin Feng with sneers. They naturally hoped that Shang Yuanshu would kill Lin Feng and get rid of Lin Feng for the three forces. There were also 9 states cultivators present, but there were fewer of them. Now, those 9 states cultivators were also paying attention to the changes in the battle. Their expressions were very solemn, and they couldn't help but worry about Lin Feng. Lin Feng's cultivation was indeed very strong, and his talent was also incomparably amazing. But now, Lin Feng was facing Shang Yuanshu, who was also a person with heaven-defying talent and strength. Lin Feng could defeat ordinary cultivators whose realms were far higher than his own. But he might not be able to defeat a genius cultivator whose realms were far higher than his own. Therefore, the 9 states cultivators were all sweating for Lin Feng. This punch is quite interesting. After feeling the power of Shang Yuanshu's attack, Lin Feng couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Shang Yuanshu's attack was indeed astonishing. However, Lin Feng didn't care about it at all. Now that Lin Feng's cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds, his combat strength had increased by many times. He was no longer the same as before. In the face of Shang Yuanshu's tyrannical attack, Lin Feng also threw a punch at Shang Yuanshu. Bang! With a violent collision sound, everyone saw Lin Feng and Shang Yuanshu fiercely colliding. Both sides took 3 steps back. Lin Feng withstood Shang Yuanshu's tyrannical punch, which shocked many people. Lin Feng withstood such a powerful attack from Shang Yuanshu. In their opinion, Lin Feng's cultivation was probably much stronger than the rumors said. Oh my god, look! Suddenly, someone pointed at Shang Yuanshu with a shocked expression on his face. He couldn't believe his eyes. At this moment, Shang Yuanshu's body was changing. His body was constantly shrinking, and as his body shrank, his magic power was also constantly weakening. Lin Feng used the fist technique recorded in the future chapter of the Great Reincarnation Art. It was surrounded by the power of the future, which could shrink a cultivator for a short period of time and greatly weaken his magic power. It was similar to the past chapter of the Great Reincarnation Art. My body, my magic power. Shang Yuanshu looked at his shrinking body and couldn't help but roar in horror. However, now that Shang Yuanshu had turned into a child, his roar turned into a scream. Young master hates naughty children like you the most. Today, young master will teach you a lesson on behalf of your elders. Lin Feng's face revealed a devilish smile. His body flashed and appeared in front of Shang Yuanshu. Then, he directly slapped Shang Yuanshu. After Shang Yuanshu's body shrank, his combat strength had dropped to the lowest point. Therefore, Shang Yuanshu didn't dare to face Lin Feng head-on. Seeing Lin Feng coming at him, Shang Yuanshu hurriedly dodged Lin Feng's attack. However, Shang Yuanshu, whose cultivation had dropped, couldn't dodge Lin Feng's attack at all. Slap! Lin Feng's slap landed heavily on Shang Yuanshu's face. It directly sent Shang Yuanshu flying. Ah! Shang Yuanshu roared in anger. He was simply mad with hatred. When had he ever been humiliated like this? But now, in front of so many people, he was slapped in the face and sent flying. This made Shang Yuanshu feel extremely humiliated. Shang Yuanshu was furious, and his killing intent was like the sea. However, he couldn't resist Lin Feng now. Naughty child, how was my slap just now? Take another kick from this young master. Lin Feng chased after Shang Yuanshu and raised his foot in the air to kick Shang Yuanshu. Bang! Accompanied by a violent collision sound, Lin Feng's kick landed on Shang Yuanshu's body and sent him flying. Wah! Receiving Lin Feng's powerful kick, Shang Yuanshu spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was distorted. Lin Feng, you little bastard. I'll fight you to the death. Chapter 28:43. Obviously, Shang Yuanshu wanted to activate his bloodline power to deal with Lin Feng. In the face of Shang Yuanshu's attack, Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He quickly rushed forward and sneered. Do you think you're still qualified to talk to me about fighting to the death? Bang! Lin Feng kicked Shang Yuanshu's body again. Shang Yuanshu, who was activating his bloodline, was abruptly interrupted and coughed up blood. He suffered a backlash, so his injuries were even more serious than before. Blood flowed out of his mouth, nose, and ears. The insufferably arrogant Shang Yuanshu was actually beaten so badly by Lin Feng. This was beyond everyone's expectations. No one had expected such an outcome. This caused many people to be incomparably astonished. They simply could not believe their eyes. The cultivators from the myriad races, extraterritorial races, and other external forces all looked gloomy. They were all looking forward to seeing Shang Yuanshu kill Lin Feng. However, the result was extremely disappointing. Well done. The cultivators from 9 provinces were all excited and cheered for Lin Feng. Go. All of you go. Kill this little bastard for me. Shang Yuanshu roared furiously. Do it, shouted the other cultivators of the 10,000 clans, throwing themselves at Lin Feng. Ha 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 ha, your opponent is me. The cursed doll shouted and pounced on the cultivators from the myriad races. Cursed fog, cursed fog. The cursed doll's eerie voice rang out as a large amount of cursed fog emanated from its body. The cursed fog was extremely strange and terrifying. When the cultivators from the myriad races came into contact with the cursed fog, their bodies began to rot. The cultivators from the myriad races could not resist the corrosion of the cursed fog at all. One by one, they screamed miserably. The cursed doll's cultivation was recovering more and more, and its methods were becoming more and more strange. Ordinary cultivators could not deal with the cursed doll. Naturally, the cultivators from the myriad races were no match for the cursed doll. Shang Yuanshu's face turned green when he saw the myriad races cultivators being blocked by the cursed dolls. The young master hates it when people act cool in front of me. What qualifications do you have to act cool in front of the young master? Lin Feng rushed in front of Shang Yuanshu again and slapped Shang Yuanshu's face, sending him flying again. Shang Yuanshu's face had been slapped by Lin Feng. Now, Shang Yuanshu was so sullen that he wanted to die. His strength was clearly abnormally strong, but because his body had shrunk, he couldn't use it. This feeling was worse than death. Right now, Shang Yuanshu wanted nothing more than to chop Lin Feng into pieces. Shang Yuanshu's body was sent flying. At this moment, the effect of the future power of the future chapter of the Great Samsara was about to wear off. Shang Yuanshu's power began to gradually recover, and his body also began to return to normal. Look, his primordial energy is recovering. Once Shang Yuanshu recovers, that brat will be dead for sure. That's right. When enraged, Shang Yuanshu's battle prowess will be heaven-defying. Seeing that Shang Yuanshu was gradually recovering, the cultivators of the myriad races, extraterrestrial races, and other external forces couldn't help but be delighted. In those people's eyes, Lin Feng couldn't compete with Shang Yuanshu. Although Lin Feng had one-sidedly suppressed Shang Yuanshu, it wasn't a reflection of their true strength. Shang Yuanshu was thinking the same thing. He could feel his dermic powers gradually recovering, and his body was also gradually recovering. He was extremely excited. He was thinking about how to torture and humiliate Lin Feng after he recovered. Only then would he be able to vent the hatred in his heart. At this moment, Lin Feng arrived in front of Shang Yuanshu again and used Eternity Rush on Shang Yuanshu's body. This was a divine ability recorded in the previous chapter of the Great Samsara Art. Lin Feng was even more proficient in using this divine ability. Bang! Shang Yuanshu was sent flying again. "Quick, look!" shouted a cultivator in shock as he pointed at Shang Yuanshu. Everyone looked at Shang Yuanshu, and the corners of their mouths twitched violently. Just now, Shang Yuanshu's body had shrunk to the size of a 5-year-old child. But now, Shang Yuanshu's body had become extremely old, turning into an extremely old man. The Great Samsara Art. Lin Feng must have used the Great Samsara Art. It's said that the Great Samsara Art records the use of the power of the past and the future. It can make people age or shrink in a short time. Regardless of whether they age or shrink, their magic power will decline greatly, and their battle prowess will be at its lowest point, said an extraterrestrial cultivator in a low voice. His eyes shone when he mentioned the Great Samsara Art. It was definitely a peerless divine ability that could make countless people go crazy. Such a divine ability could become the foundation of cultivation. Who wouldn't want such a divine ability? No wonder his methods are so strange. It's actually the Great Samsara Art. Shang Yuanshu is so aggrieved. If he had known earlier that the Great Samsara Art was so strange, he would have been on guard against Lin Feng. Some of the extraterrestrial cultivators sighed. Why is this happening? Shang Yuanshu looked at his old body and couldn't help but roar. It took him a lot of effort to return to normal. But then, he turned into his current state. Shang Yuanshu was so depressed that he was about to die. Old fart, eat this young master's fist. Lin Feng rushed forward and punched Shang Yuanshu. He shouted, "This fist is called the Specialized Old Tortoise Fist." Shang Yuanshu couldn't help but roll his eyes. Who's an old tortoise? Shang Yuanshu wanted to quickly retreat to avoid Lin Feng's attack. He wanted to waste time until his body returned to normal. By the time he returned to normal, he definitely wouldn't be hit a third time. Dreams were beautiful, but reality was incomparably cruel. Lin Feng didn't give Shang Yuanshu a chance at all. His speed was so fast that he followed Shang Yuanshu like a shadow. He arrived in front of Shang Yuanshu in an instant. Then, he punched Shang Yuanshu's chin. Crack, crack. Shang Yuanshu's chin was shattered by Lin Feng's punch. As for Shang Yuanshu, he was sent flying by Lin Feng's punch. Lin Feng quickly rushed forward, descended from the sky, and stomped on Shang Yuanshu. Bang! His foot ruthlessly stomped on Shang Yuanshu's body. With a clang, Shang Yuanshu's body fell to the ground and was stepped on by Lin Feng. "Little bastard, just you wait. I'll kill you. I'll make sure you die a horrible death." Shang Yuanshu's eyes turned blood red, and he looked at Lin Feng with hatred. Lin Feng coldly looked at Shang Yuanshu and sneered, "You're still so arrogant even though you're a prisoner. Do you really think I won't dare to kill you? I'm a member of the Sacred God clan. If you know what's good for you, you'll end your life and save your friends and family. If you dare to kill me, not only will you die, but your friends and family and everyone related to you will die." Shang Yuanshu laughed maliciously. Who in the Sacred God clan didn't fear him? With the Sacred God clan as his backing, Shang Yuanshu had nothing to fear. Puff. The next moment, blood splattered. Shang Yuanshu's head was chopped off by Lin Feng. Chapter 2844. Dead. Shang Yuanshu is dead. I'm afraid something big is going to happen. It's been so many years, but no cultivator from the Sacred God clan has fallen. Now that a direct descendant of the Sacred God clan has fallen, I'm afraid there's going to be a huge problem. The Sacred God clan won't let this go so easily. Just wait and see. The experts of the Sacred God clan will definitely appear and kill Lin Feng. Not only Lin Feng, but also his family, his clansmen, friends, fellow disciples, and so on. As long as they are related to him, they will all die. Just wait and see. When the time comes, these people will definitely die without a burial place. After seeing Lin Feng kill Shang Yuanshu, the surrounding cultivators of the thousands of races began to whisper to each other. The Sacred God clan was a behemoth that no one could provoke. Now, Lin Feng had killed a direct descendant of the Sacred God clan. It was equivalent to piercing through the sky. The people of the Sacred God clan naturally wouldn't let this go. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He took Shang Yuanshu's storage ring and left with the cursed doll. So what if it was the Sacred God clan? If the Sacred God clan dared to touch the people around him, he would definitely uproot the Sacred God clan. TSK, you even dared to kill someone from the Sacred God clan. You're really bold. The cursed doll exclaimed. So what if it's the Sacred God clan? It's just a force that's slightly stronger than the other clans. Give me time, and the entire Sacred God clan will be trampled under my feet. Lin Feng said indifferently. The cursed doll nodded and said, with your talent, perhaps there will be such a day. Killing the cultivator of the Sacred God clan, Shang Yuanshu, was only a small matter to Lin Feng. He wouldn't take this matter to heart. If Amir Jr. died, so be it. Lin Feng's heart wouldn't be affected at all. He and the cursed doll walked deeper into the city. There were huge palaces everywhere, crisscrossing streets, and huge mansions. This was like an ancient imperial city. It was shrouded in a dark aura and emitted a power that made one's heart palpitate. One after another, cultivators entered the massive imperial city. Then, they began searching for treasures within the imperial city, hoping to find the supreme treasure buried here. Some cultivators seemed to have a good harvest, but some cultivators didn't find anything at all. The first night arrived quietly. When night fell, the entire imperial city was shrouded in endless darkness. Vaguely, there was also a whining sound. That sound was too terrifying and eerie, as if it was the sound of a malicious spirit. Pale green bugs were flying above the city, emitting a pale green light that represented death. That light seemed to represent an endless aura of death. Death-fired demonic bug. The cursed doll looked at the bugs in shock. This was the first time Lin Feng had heard of this kind of insect. In fact, it was the first time he had seen this kind of strange insect. He could feel an aura from these green insects that made his heart palpitate. Is death-fiery demon bug the name of this bug? What kind of insect is this? Lin Feng could not help but ask. I'm not sure. It's said that it's a type of insect that flew out from the 18th level of hell. It represents death. The cursed doll said. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. The cursed doll was getting more and more ridiculous. If it was really a type of insect that flew out from the 18th level of hell, then it would be too terrifying. However, everything the cursed doll said sounded too unreal. It felt like he was listening to a fairy tale. At that moment, some death-fire demonic bugs descended from the sky and flew towards some of the cultivators. Many of the cultivators did not recognize these death-fire demonic bugs. Therefore, they did not take the death-fire demonic bugs to heart. Some of them even stretched out their hands to grab the bugs, wanting to see what these bugs were. When those cultivators grabbed the death-fire demonic bugs, something happened. Then, something terrifying happened. Those cultivators' bodies began to burn. With their arms as the starting point, the flames quickly spread to their entire bodies. Those cultivators who grabbed the death-fire demonic bugs quickly let go of them. They released their magic power, wanting to use it to extinguish the flames on their bodies. However, it was useless. It seemed like there was nothing that could stop their bodies from burning. Arg! Miserable shrieks were heard. Many cultivators let out miserable shrieks as their bodies burned to ashes. In the blink of an eye, they had been reduced to ashes and died on the spot. Seeing this scene, Lin Feng could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. Those bugs were too terrifying. Anyone who dared to underestimate those bugs would definitely die. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. More and more death-fire demonic bugs flew toward the cultivators in the imperial city. Those death-fire demonic bugs were like the Grim Reaper that walked out from hell. They began to harvest the cultivators' lives. A large number of cultivators died under the attacks of the death-fire demonic bugs. Quick, use your magic treasures to attack these damned bugs, many cultivators shouted. Using their magic treasures to attack the death-fire demonic bugs was a good idea. Many death-fire demonic bugs were killed by the magic treasures. It was only after midnight that the death-fire demonic bugs disappeared. However, there were patches of charcoal on the ground of the imperial city. A gust of wind blew. The charcoal was blown in all directions. Those charcoal were the cultivators who died after being attacked by the death-fire demonic bugs. Roar. A deep roar resounded through the sky. In the depths of the imperial city, a huge demonic shadow appeared. Endless demonic might emanated from it. It was as if a peerless demon lord had awakened from his slumber. When they saw the demonic shadow, everyone became excited. Is that the demon lord's brand? The demon lord's legacy must be here. Let's go and take a look. Many cultivators shouted excitedly and quickly flew toward the depths of the imperial city. The huge demonic shadow quickly disappeared. I wonder if the three great emperors will be able to obtain the demon lord's legacy? Lin Feng said with a gloomy expression as he and the cursed doll flew toward the depths of the imperial city. The three great emperors had been the first to enter the imperial city. Now, they were nowhere to be found. If there was anyone who had the highest chance of obtaining the demon lord's legacy, it would be the three great emperors. It's fine if they manage to obtain it. At most, we'll just have to kill them, the cursed doll said. Lin Feng nodded and said, "All right, then let's kill them and snatch the demon lord's legacy." Many cultivators who were passing by heard the conversation between Lin Feng and the cursed doll and looked at them with disdain. Kill three great emperors? Chapter 28:45. Lin Feng and the cursed doll, as well as the other cultivators, flew towards the depths of the imperial city for a long time. However, they were still unable to reach that area. It was obvious that something was amiss. Lin Feng had also noticed that something was amiss. He felt as if he had fallen into some kind of illusion and was constantly flying. In reality, he might not have been able to travel far at all. There was an 80% chance that he was trapped in this place. The cursed doll said, "This place is filled with evil. I'm afraid we're in trouble." Lin Feng nodded. Indeed, it was as the cursed doll had said. They were in trouble. Perhaps it's a magnetic field. An extremely terrifying magnetic field that's affecting all of us. After pondering for a while, Lin Feng said, it was unrealistic for ordinary formations and restrictions to try to trap Lin Feng, who was a formation grandmaster. Only the power of a magnetic field could deceive him. That was the terrifying part of a magnetic field. The power contained in a magnetic field was too terrifying. It could make people lose themselves in it. A magnetic field? Could it be that the Devil Lord's corpse is here? The corpse of an expert of this level can form a powerful magnetic field that interferes with the thoughts of the cultivators around him. The cursed doll said with a gloomy expression, if it was really a magnetic field formed by the corpse of a Devil Lord, then it would be too terrifying. Lin Feng said, let's wait and see. It might be better if we wait until daytime. The cursed doll said, that's the only way. Lin Feng hoped that this night would pass peacefully. However, things did not go as he wished. How could it be so easy to pass peacefully? Dong, dong, dong. A sound rang out in the middle of the night. It was not the sound of a bell, but an extremely strange sound. This strange sound made one's hair stand on end. Lin Feng felt his heart beating faster and faster. He felt as if his heart was about to jump out of his chest. Ah! A cultivator in the distance let out a shrill scream. Lin Feng and the cursed doll quickly flew over. 6 or 7 cultivators fell on the street, all of them dead. A bloody hole appeared in their chests. His heart exploded. This was the cause of their deaths. After seeing this scene, Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. These people died too tragically. His heart exploded, and he died. Thump, 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 thump. This time, it was the same as before. Lin Feng felt his heart beating faster and faster. Lin Feng couldn't help but be alarmed when he saw the corpses in front of him. The deaths of these cultivators were most likely related to the frantic beating of their hearts. I have to calm myself down quickly. Otherwise, I won't be able to escape death. Lin Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. He quickly sat down cross-legged and began to circulate the Archean Dragonesque Elephant skill. As the Archean Dragonesque Elephant skill circulated, Lin Feng felt his inner world become much quieter. No one knew how much time had passed. Lin Feng opened his eyes. The cursed doll was looking into the distance, bored to death. This fellow wasn't made of flesh and blood, so it didn't have a heart. Naturally, It didn't have to worry about the strange sound earlier. The night hasn't passed yet. Looking at the dark imperial city, Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. We still have to wait for a while, but it should be soon. The cursed doll said, "Have you heard of the saying that the darkness before dawn is the scariest?" Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. The cursed doll said, "Although this is the first time I've heard of this, it does make sense. The scariest thing might happen soon." Not long after, a gloomy aura spread throughout the imperial city. Lin Feng said, "I'm afraid danger is coming. Be careful." The cursed doll nodded with a serious expression. Ah! A shrill scream came from not far away. After hearing the scream, Lin Feng and the cursed doll quickly flew over. Dozens of cultivators also rushed to that place. However, when they arrived at that place, there was only a pool of blood. There was nothing else. "He's dead. This pool of blood should be left behind by the cultivator from before. I just don't know how he died." A cultivator said with an ugly expression, "Is it that demon lord who wants to kill the latecomers?" A cultivator cursed, "Even after he's dead, he still wants to scheme against the latecomers. I curse that demon lord to never be reincarnated." "You can't say such things carelessly," a cultivator said in a deep voice. Everyone quickly distanced themselves from that cultivator, cursing the mysterious demon lord in the imperial city left behind by the demon lord. Wasn't that courting death? That cultivator had lost his composure earlier because he was mentally unstable. That was why he cursed the demon lord. However, now that he had regained his senses, his face had turned pale. He was probably starting to feel fear. "I don't ask for anything else now. I just want to get through this night smoothly. Then, I'll search the imperial city again tomorrow morning. Before night falls, we have to leave this place quickly. This place is too strange. If I had a chance to choose again, I definitely wouldn't enter this place again," a cultivator said. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world. "Everyone, gather together. There's strength in numbers," a cultivator suggested. The others nodded in agreement. Now, no one wanted to be separated from the main group. Once they were separated, they would probably end up in an extremely miserable state. "Find a courtyard to hide in," someone said. Everyone nodded in agreement. Then, nearly 100 people found a courtyard and waited quietly for the day to come. From time to time, screams could be heard from outside. Cultivators were constantly being killed. No one knew what was in the imperial city. To be able to kill off so many powerful cultivators without making a sound, he had to be able to do so. Not long after Lin Feng and the others entered the courtyard, waves of gloomy and cold aura permeated the courtyard from outside. "We can't stay here any longer. Let's leave quickly," a very alert cultivator couldn't help but say in a deep voice. The courtyard wasn't safe. Everyone got up and left the courtyard. When they arrived outside the courtyard, everyone's expression was extremely ugly. This was because the imperial city at night was simply too dangerous. "What's that?" Someone pointed into the distance. Everyone looked over and saw a ball of red light flying in their direction. Everyone looked at the ball of red light warily. However, when the ball of red light flew over, everyone finally saw what it was. Everyone's expression changed abruptly. In the red light, a cultivator covered in red hair was walking towards them. Chapter 2846. How did the Emperor of the Fallen Angel Race turn into a red-furred monster? Seeing the Emperor of the Fallen Angel Race walking towards them step by step, everyone could not help but feel their scalps go numb. This was simply too horrifying. How could a perfectly fine human turn into a red-furred monster? Furthermore, the cultivation of the Fallen Angel Race's Emperor was so strong. Just what in the world was it that turned him into this red-furred monster? "Retreat. Hurry up and retreat," a cultivator said with a trembling voice. Everyone retreated cautiously, not daring to move too quickly for fear of attracting the frenzied attacks of the Fallen Angel Race's Emperor. Among the crowd, there was a Fallen Angel Race cultivator. Now, someone wanted him to ask the Emperor of his race about what had happened. How could a dignified emperor like him turn into a horrifying monster? The Fallen Angel Race cultivator could not help but roll his eyes. Only someone with a screw loose would go and ask. The fallen angel cultivator was extremely unwilling to do so. He was worried that if he went to ask the emperor of his race about the situation, he would be killed by a single palm strike from the emperor. This was not an exaggeration. Right now, the fallen angel race's emperor seemed to have completely lost himself. His eyes had turned blood red, shining with an incomparably demonic luster. What about the other two emperors? Did they turn into red-furred monsters as well? A cultivator asked with a trembling voice. They must have experienced something inconceivable. Otherwise, there was no way they could have turned into red-furred monsters. But as for what they had experienced, no one knew. Perhaps their fighting strength is not as strong as before. Everyone, calm down. There's no need to be too afraid, a cultivator said. However, he was clearly lacking in confidence. Hence, his voice was trembling, and his eyes were filled with fear. Whoosh! The fallen angel race's emperor increased his speed and rushed towards the crowd. Hurry up and run. Many people cried out in fear. They did not have the courage to fight the fallen angel race's emperor at all. Everyone fled in all directions. Soon, they separated. Miserable cries could be heard from time to time. Some cultivators were killed by the fallen angel race's emperor who had turned into a red-furred monster. Whoosh! The fallen angel race's emperor locked onto a group of more than 10 people and chased after them. Holy sh**t. Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes. He was also within this group of more than 10 people. He was locked onto by the fallen angel race's emperor. Now that the fallen angel race's emperor was chasing him, Lin Feng felt uneasy. Don't be afraid, Lin Feng said. He felt that the fallen angel race emperor was not as strong as before after turning into a red-furred monster. Are you crazy? The others couldn't help but roll their eyes. They had no intention of fighting the fallen angel race's emperor. Calm, let. The cursed doll pointed in a direction. Lin. The great emperor of the fallen angel clan chased after the group with the most people, so he didn't chase after Lin Feng and the cursed baby. Kill. Lin Feng's expression was cold as he took out the heavenly pagoda. This emperor-level defensive treasure hovered above Lin Feng. Rays of divine light shone down, protecting Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng used the heavenly pagoda to protect his body. At the same time, he took out the stone sword and slashed at the fallen angel race's emperor. The cursed doll was responsible for casting curse arts from afar to attack the fallen angel race's emperor. Now that Lin Feng's cultivation base had improved greatly, he could barely wield the two stone swords. Under Lin Feng's control, the two stone swords danced in the void and attacked the fallen angel race's emperor. Clang, clang, clang. The fallen angel race's emperor was too strong. He waved his hands and swept them at Lin Feng's stone swords. A series of violent collisions rang out. Lin Feng's two stone swords were actually sent flying by the fallen angel race's emperor. There was no need to mention the power of the stone swords. They were abnormally terrifying. However, the fallen angel race's emperor was too strong. Therefore, Lin Feng's stone swords could not break through the fallen angel race's emperor's defense. The fallen angel race's emperor quickly arrived in front of Lin Feng. His sharp claws scratched at Lin Feng's chest. After turning into a red-furred monster, the nails of the fallen angel race's emperor had become much longer. Furthermore, they were shining with a blue luster. It looked extremely sinister. However, the attack power of this claw was incomparably strong. If it were any other time, Lin Feng would definitely not be able to withstand the attack of the fallen angel race's emperor. However, the situation was different this time. This time, Lin Feng had the heavenly pagoda, an emperor-level weapon, to protect him. Although the fallen angel race's emperor's attack was extremely strong, it could not break through the heavenly pagoda's defense. 5 times dragon elephant arm. Lin Feng erupted. A terrifying power surged into his right arm. The 5 times dragon elephant arm burst forth with an unprecedented amount of power. Then, that mighty punch smashed into the fallen angel race's emperor's abdomen. Even someone as strong as the fallen angel race's emperor was sent flying after taking on such a terrifying punch from Lin Feng. Furthermore, the fallen angel race's emperor spat out a mouthful of blood. Looking at this scene, Lin Feng was extremely excited. This was the first time in his life that he had beaten an emperor to the point of spitting out blood. Despicable living being, your emperor is going to kill you. After the fallen angel race's emperor was injured, he roared out furiously. Terrifying ripples were emitted from his body. Sensing the ripples that were surging out from the fallen angel race's emperor, Lin Feng's face changed. The fallen angel race's emperor was probably going to use his mystic skills now. Naturally, he and the cursed doll could not deal with the fallen angel race's emperor. Lin Feng hurriedly kept the two stone swords. Then, he fled into the distance with the cursed doll. There was no need to continue fighting with the fallen angel race's emperor. There was nothing to gain from it anyway. The fallen angel race's emperor chased after Lin Feng and the cursed doll relentlessly. However, he encountered other cultivators along the way. Thus, the fallen angel race's emperor gave up on Lin Feng and the cursed doll and attacked other cultivators instead. Just what kind of secret is this place hiding? To think that a great emperor would turn into a red-furred monster. Lin Feng frowned. This imperial city was simply too scary. This night was not peaceful at all. Countless people had died tragically. Fortunately, dawn had finally arrived. Let's go and take a look. Let's see if there's any demon lord's orthodoxy. Whether or not we can get it, we have to leave this place before nightfall. Lin Feng said solemnly. Chapter 2847. In the depths of the imperial city was a huge palace. It emitted a cold and terrifying aura, causing people to feel a chill down their spines. More and more cultivators arrived and entered the palace. Inside the palace, there were rows upon rows of huge palaces. Many cultivators went to some of the palaces and opened them, hoping to find some fortuitous encounters. Lin Feng and the cursed doll also searched many palaces, but found nothing valuable in them. However, they found something in one of the main palaces. Lin Feng found a huge statue here. The statue was made of bronze and emitted an endless majesty. Is that the demon lord's statue? Quite a few cultivators were attracted to the statue, and their eyes were filled with shock and astonishment as they looked at it. If it was really the demon lord's statue, it would be too shocking, because the demon lord's orthodoxy might also be here. Some cultivators couldn't help but walk towards the statue. Lin Feng and the cursed doll watched from afar. They didn't get close, because the two of them had a special feeling. When they saw the statue, they couldn't help but feel panic and palpitations. This was enough to explain a lot of things. There was definitely a huge problem with that statue. The cultivators approaching the statue were also very careful. That cultivator kept getting closer to the statue, but the statue didn't seem to have any movements. Just when everyone thought that there wouldn't be any changes, the statue suddenly opened its eyes. It was a pair of extremely demonic eyes that shot out two rays of light. The two rays of light shot towards the cultivator approaching the statue. Faced with this sudden change, the cultivator's expression changed greatly. He quickly dodged, hoping to avoid the two rays of light that shot out from the statue. But in the end, he failed. A poochie sound was heard. The ray of light directly pierced through the cultivator's body. A loud bang was heard. The cultivator's body immediately exploded. He turned into a cloud of blood mist. Then, all of the blood mist was absorbed by the statue. What kind of statue is this? It's so strange. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air and looked at the statue in shock. The statue had instantly killed off a cultivator with considerable strength and even devoured his flesh and soul essence. It was simply too bizarre. Many of the onlookers could not help but feel their hairs stand on end. Some of the cultivators who were originally itching to take a closer look at the statue now had uncertain expressions. A voice came from outside. Then, a young man in a yellow robe with a crew cut walked in. After seeing this person, Lin Feng was very surprised. It was this young man with a crew cut. His origin was extremely mysterious. He had already appeared several times. The first time was when he collected the Golden Temple. The last time it appeared was when the Dragon Tomb appeared under the Dragonfire province. A great emperor had descended, but in the end, The opportunity had been obtained by this youth with a crew cut, and now he had appeared once again. Underworld child, a cultivator whispered, seemingly knowing the background of this young man with a crew cut. What? He was the underworld child? Son of the Nether King? Immediately, some people were shocked. In the past, the Nether King had disappeared without a trace for no reason. At that time, the Nether King's relatives had also disappeared with him. Naturally, this included the Nether King's son. After he snatched the opportunity from a great emperor, the great emperors of the myriad races began to investigate this child's identity. They discovered that this child was related to the underworld, so they reported this information to the ancestors of the heavenly sage Great World. After some investigation, they discovered that this child was actually the son of the Nether King. Back then, the Nether King mysteriously disappeared for some reason. Now that the son of the Nether King has returned, no one knows what happened. I wonder if the Nether King is still alive in this world? With the son of the Nether King's talent, he should have become a great emperor by now. However, it seems like he hasn't cultivated to the great emperor realm yet. I guess he has been sealed for a long time and is sleeping inside the stone to prevent the passage of time from passing. This child's methods are extremely terrifying. Back then, I personally saw him withstand 3 attacks from a great emperor without being defeated. In the end, he managed to retreat, as expected of the son of the Nether King. His combat strength is heaven-defying. Many cultivators began to whisper to each other. Boom! The underworld child attacked, emitting a powerful aura from his body. Step by step, he walked toward the statue. Swoosh! Swoosh! 2 terrifying rays of light shot out from the statue's eyes once again and then blasted toward the underworld child. Break! The underworld child's methods were too extraordinary. His fists shook the world and shattered the sky. His pair of divine fists were simply invincible. After shattering the statue's attack, the underworld child arrived in front of the statue. With a wave of his hand, endless gloomy ghost chi surged out and directly drowned the statue. The underworld child had successfully taken the statue. So powerful. The cursed doll smacked its lips and said. Lin Feng's heart also surged with monstrous waves. The underworld child was indeed too terrifying. This person's talent was already extremely heaven-defying. Moreover, he had already cultivated to the boundary emperor realm. That was why he had such terrifying strength. Some people's eyes flickered with coldness. They wanted to attack the underworld child. Those cultivators had the advantage in numbers and wanted to use this to suppress the underworld child. Then, they wanted the underworld child to hand over the statue. However, those cultivators gave up in the end. The underworld child was simply too powerful. If they really fought, the outcome would be uncertain. At that time, it would be hard to say what would happen. They might even suffer a double loss. After the underworld child left, Lin Feng and the others quickly left as well. The cursed doll said, I wonder where the treasure vault is. If we can find it, we will definitely be able to obtain many treasures. Lin Feng said, many people are searching for the treasure vault. It's just that the treasure vault is hidden too deeply. A large number of cultivators were searching for the treasure vault's location. The treasure vault was very difficult to find, but it was still found in the end. Everyone rushed to the treasure vault. The treasure vault was underground and was extremely huge. When everyone entered the treasure vault, they saw mountains of various origin crystals, various refining materials, various weapons, and so on. We're rich. Many people shouted excitedly and quickly rushed to collect the treasures piled up in the treasure vault. Lin Feng and the cursed doll were also collecting the treasures in the treasure vault. Lin Feng was most interested in array formation materials and some magic treasures. Array formation materials could be used many times, and magic treasures could be used to equip an army. Therefore, Lin Feng specifically collected array formation materials and various magic treasures. Kikik. Just as everyone was collecting the magic treasures in the treasure vault, suddenly, a sinister voice came from the depths of the treasure vault. That voice was sinister and ear-piercing. After hearing that voice, many people could not help but feel their hair stand on end. What the hell is that? Chapter 28:48. The blood-red mist in the depths began to roll, and a gloomy aura spread out. From within the blood-red mist, a terrifying creature flew out at high speed. This creature was too strange. Its body was a bit like a human's body, but also a bit like a bat's body. There were 2 heads in total, and both of them were incomparably ugly. One of them was a human head, while the other was a bat head. Its claws were extremely sharp and shone with a green luster. It was obvious that the bat monster's claws contained a strong poison. Is it a bat monster that cultivated into a spirit? A cultivator from the myriad races couldn't help but show a look of contempt when he saw the monster's appearance. It was just a bat monster. How strong could it be? I'll go kill this bat monster. A cultivator sneered and wanted to kill the bat monster. As long as he killed this bat monster and searched for its soul, then he might be able to get information about the demon lord's orthodoxy from the bat monster. This cultivator's wishful thinking was quite good. He brought out a magic treasure. This magic treasure was a roundwheel-type magic treasure. After the magic treasure flew out, it suddenly spun and slashed at the bat monster. The attacking cultivator wanted to rely on his magic treasure to kill the bat monster. Swoosh, swoosh. At this moment, the bat monster's wings gently flapped. The bat monster's wings slashed at the magic treasure. A spluttering sound was heard. The magic treasure was directly torn in half. After seeing this scene, many people were shocked. The bat monster's attack was too terrifying. Even its body parts were sharper than magic treasures. It was too terrifying. The bat monster instantly arrived in front of the cultivator. The cultivator didn't even have time to react. The bat monster bit down on the cultivator's neck. Then, it suddenly sucked. The cultivator's body convulsed. Then, his body collapsed to the ground. He died on the spot. The monster's mouth was full of blood. It looked extremely bloody and terrifying. The taste is SOSO. I wonder if any of the remaining people have a better taste? The bat monster's face was full of a sinister smile. Swoosh. He moved as fast as lightning, pouncing toward the crowd. The blood-red fog rolled and enveloped the entire warehouse. The cultivators, shrouded in the blood-red mist, were quickly separated by it. The bat monster's methods were terrifying. It deliberately separated everyone. Then, he would attack them one by one. Mournful cries rang out one after another as more and more cultivators were killed by the monster's attacks. The blood-red fog tumbled and separated Lin Feng from the cursed doll. The surrounding screams were so mournful that it made one's hair stand on end. As time passed, the screams gradually disappeared. Due to the fact that most of the cultivators had been killed, the number of survivors was extremely small. A cold and gloomy aura engulfed Lin Feng's entire body, causing him to involuntarily feel cold all over. Lin Feng felt that he was being targeted by something terrifying. He knew that it must be the bat monster. Lin Feng scanned the surroundings with his divine sense, but found no clues. The bat monster's methods were extremely terrifying. It could completely hide itself. Lin Feng's perception was extremely strong, but he was unable to find the bat monster's whereabouts. The bat monster's concealment methods were too shocking. Lin Feng did not dare to hesitate. He quickly took out the heavenly mystery treasure pagoda. With this emperor-level defensive Dharma treasure protecting him, Lin Feng felt much more at ease. The heavenly mystery treasure pagoda shone down rays of divine light, protecting Lin Feng within. There was no sound. A figure appeared behind Lin Feng. Its sharp claws clawed at Lin Feng, wanting to pierce through Lin Feng's body. Clang. The sharp claws were blocked by the divine light released by the heavenly mystery treasure pagoda. This was an emperor-level Dharma treasure. Lin Feng estimated that even if a great emperor-level expert attacked, it would not be able to break through the heavenly mystery treasure pagoda's defense in a short time. After blocking the bat monster's attack, Lin Feng turned around and threw a punch at the bat monster. The power of the five-fold Dracophan arm was completely unleashed. Back then, Lin Feng had relied on the power of the five-fold Dracophan arm to beat the fallen angel Great Emperor until he vomited blood. From this, one could see how terrifying Lin Feng's strength was. Right now, Lin Feng's physical strength was roughly equivalent to an immortal emperor's. The five-fold Dracophant arm's physical strength was countless times stronger than that of a great emperor's. Therefore, even a great emperor-level expert would not be a match for Lin Feng in a battle of physical strength. You're courting death. The bat monster sneered at Lin Feng. Its physical body was extremely strong. Now that it saw Lin Feng using his physical body to fight against it, it was filled with disdain. Naturally, the bat monster was filled with disdain for Lin Feng. The bat monster's reaction was extremely fast. When Lin Feng attacked, it sent a palm strike at Lin Feng. Bang! Following a violent collision, Lin Feng sent the bat monster flying. Impossible! The bat monster roared in disbelief. It knew how strong its physical body was, but it was still sent flying by Lin Feng. It could not believe this. Huh, it's not injured? Lin Feng was also incomparably shocked. The five-fold Dracophant arm's power had only sent the bat monster flying, but it had not injured it. Lin Feng found this somewhat inconceivable. One had to know that even a great emperor would vomit blood after receiving such an attack from Lin Feng. Yet, the bat monster was unscathed. Its physical body was definitely stronger than an ordinary great emperor's. The bat monster let out a deep and sinister voice. I ate the demon lord's corpse. How can your attack hurt me? Ate the demon lord's corpse? Who are you trying to fool? Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. He did not believe a single word the bat monster said. If the bat monster had really eaten the demon lord's corpse, was that all it could do? If it had really eaten the demon lord's corpse, it could probably kill an ordinary great emperor in an instant. Not to mention Lin Feng. He was simply no match for the bat monster. However, that was not the case. The bat monster was indeed very terrifying, but it was not strong enough to kill a great emperor in an instant. Lin Feng guessed that the bat monster's strength should be very close to that of a great emperor. However, it had not evolved to the level of a great emperor yet. Believe it or not, you have angered me. I want to eat your flesh and drink your blood. Only then will I be able to quell my anger. The bat monster let out a sinister laugh. Then its body issued a kacha-kacha-kacha sound. Dense black scales appeared on the surface of the bat monster's body. Those black scales wrapped its whole body, as if it was wearing a suit of armor. The bat monster's body grew larger, and its aura was 3 to 4 times stronger than before. Chapter 2849. A layer of scales appeared on the surface of the bat monster's body. In addition, the bat monster's strength had greatly increased. Naturally, Lin Feng felt that it was very difficult to deal with. When dealing with such a monster, the slightest carelessness could lead to death in the bat monster's hands. Go to hell! The bat monster laughed sinisterly and quickly pounced on Lin Feng. Its speed was too fast. In an instant, it arrived in front of Lin Feng and attacked Lin Feng. Clang! Its sharp claws scratched the protective light shield. In an instant, the protective light shield vibrated violently. Lin Feng swung his fist at the bat monster. That powerful punch did not cause any damage to the bat monster at all. The bat monster's body was as if it was wearing a defensive armor. No matter how powerful the attack was, it could not break through the bat monster's defense. Kikik, it's useless. Wait until I break through your defense. That's when you'll die a tragic death. The bat monster let out a sinister laugh. Its attack became even more ferocious and terrifying. Its sharp claws continuously scratched the protective light shield released by the heavenly mystery treasure pagoda. The defensive power of this protective light shield was naturally extremely strong. However, it could not withstand the continuous attacks. Any defensive system constructed by magic treasures would gradually be broken through under continuous attacks. That was why it was said that wild dogs could hunt lions. Ants could bite an elephant to death. In fact, this was the truth. If the battle continued like this, Lin Feng would not be able to break through the bat monster's defense. Such a battle would definitely be extremely disadvantageous for him. At this critical moment, the cursed doll snuck up behind the bat monster without making a sound. The cursed doll raised its right hand, and a terrifying power swirled around its fingertips. It was unknown what kind of power was condensed from the power of the god art. The cursed doll's finger pointed directly at the bat monster. Although the cursed doll hid very well, the bat monster was too powerful. It still sensed the cursed doll's appearance. It moved horizontally to the left. With the bat monster's cultivation level, it had a high chance of dodging the cursed doll's attack. However, Lin Feng was already prepared. As he saw the cursed doll appear, Lin Feng first activated the 1 Qi into 3 pure ones. He directly split himself into 3. Then, he stacked the 9 types of domineering aura together and turned it into a powerful magnetic field. The magnetic field's confinement power was too strong. After the 9 types of magnetic fields were stacked together, it instantly enveloped the bat monster. Therefore, the bat monster's plan of teleporting out and dodging the cursed doll's attack failed. The cursed doll's attack landed on the bat monster's head. The strange power around the cursed doll's finger surged into the bat monster's mind. Ah! The bat monster let out an incomparably shrill scream. After suffering the cursed doll's terrifying attack, the bat monster's body was severely injured. To be precise, its soul was very likely severely injured. After the cursed doll launched this attack, it almost fell to the ground from mid-air. This attack had consumed a lot of its energy. Kill. Lin Feng took out the stone sword and held it tightly with both hands. Then, with a loud roar, the stone sword in his hand stabbed fiercely at the bat monster's chest. There was a puff. The stone sword's power was extraordinary. It directly pierced through the bat monster's body. The bat monster was continuously injured. The powerful magic power in its body began to rapidly deplete. Its vitality was extremely tenacious. It was actually not dead yet. Lin Feng took out the second stone sword. Holding the sword with one hand, he was about to cut off the bat monster's head. At this moment, the bat monster suddenly roared, "Don't kill me. As long as you don't kill me, the Devil Lord's inheritance is yours." Hearing the bat monster's words, Lin Feng quickly stopped. He used the 8 divine seals to seal the bat monster's magic power. Then, he looked at the bat monster coldly and said, "Do you know where the Devil Lord's inheritance is?" The bat monster said, "Yes, of course I know. I can bring you in." Lin Feng pulled out the stone sword from the bat monster's chest. The bat monster's body directly fell to the ground. At this moment, the bat monster looked extremely weak. "Don't play dead. Hurry up and get up," the cursed doll said. The bat monster smiled bitterly and said, "I really can't stand up. Let me rest for a while." Lin Feng said, "Let him rest. Anyway, I've already sealed him. I'm not afraid of him playing any tricks. Let's quickly collect the treasures in the treasury." The cursed doll nodded. Together with Lin Feng, the entire treasury was emptied. All kinds of treasures were piled up like mountains. This time's harvest made Lin Feng extremely happy. This was because he had collected no less than 1,000,000 high-grade treasures. In the mountain river ring, those treasures were piled up as high as several mountains. A dragon sect cultivator was rewarded with 2 treasures. They were enough to equip an elite cultivator army of 500,000 people. Once chaos arrived, such elites would play a crucial role. "Bring us to the place where the Devil Lord's inheritance is." Lin Feng looked at the bat monster. "Follow me," the bat monster said. Then, it walked inside. In the deepest part of the treasury, there was a strange pattern. These strange patterns branded on the walls could be moved. The bat monster began to rearrange these patterns. Soon, the patterns were rearranged. Rumble, rumble. A series of loud noises could be heard. The walls parted, and a passage appeared. The bat monster took the lead and entered. Then, Lin Feng and the cursed doll followed. After the 3 of them entered, the walls closed again. The bat monster led the way while Lin Feng and the cursed doll followed behind it. "Who are you?" Lin Feng asked the bat monster. "Tombkeeper," the bat monster said. Lin Feng was shocked. He did not expect the bat monster's true identity to be a tombkeeper. Could it be guarding the Devil Lord's tomb? With that thought in mind, Lin Feng asked, "Are you guarding the Devil Lord's tomb?" "Yes," the bat monster said. The cursed doll immediately became excited. It shouted, "The Devil Lord's tomb! This is great! If I can devour the aura of death accumulated in the Devil Lord's corpse, how many levels will my cultivation level increase?" Lin Feng was also very excited. The Devil Lord's tomb was here. Based on the information revealed by the bat monster, the Devil Lord's inheritance should be here as well. He wondered if the Devil Lord's treasure was here as well. Chapter 2850. Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll followed the bat monster to the end of the passageway. There was a huge stone chamber there, and a coffin was placed in the middle of the stone chamber. When they saw the coffin, Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll looked extremely excited. Of course, they did not act rashly. How could a coffin that buried a demon lord be underestimated? They had to be careful. If they were not careful, they might die under the demon lord's might. Which demon lord's corpse is this? Lin Feng could not help but ask. Of the 9 demon lords, Lin Feng had come into contact with 2 of them. Previously, he had also obtained a mysterious chant passed down by one of the demon lords. He was still in the process of comprehending it, but he had not been able to figure out what the chant meant. Of course, Lin Feng believed that with his comprehension, he would be able to figure out the secret contained in the chant sooner or later. Now that he was about to come into contact with another demon lord, he could not help but feel excited and excited. The demon lord's identity is very mysterious. When it was passed down to my generation, no one told me which demon lord it was. The bat monster said, "How interesting. As a tomb keeper, you can even forget who you are guarding. Today, I have learned something new," Lin Feng said with a sneer. The Cursed Doll looked at the bat monster and said, "You go open the coffin. We will stay here and watch." The Cursed Doll was more careful. It was worried that something would go wrong, so it let the bat monster go. The bat monster nodded and did not refuse the Cursed Doll. It walked towards the coffin and soon arrived in front of it. Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll looked at the bat monster. They guessed that it would not dare to play any tricks. If it dared to play any tricks at this time, Lin Feng did not mind giving the bat monster another slash and sending it to the next world. The bat monster began to open the coffin. There were many nails on the coffin. The bat monster pried those nails off one by one. When all the nails were pried off, the bat monster began to open the coffin lid. A loud rumbling sound was heard. The coffin lid was very heavy. However, the bat monster was gradually pushed away. After the coffin was pushed open, Lin Feng and the Cursed Doll walked towards the coffin. However, they realized that the coffin was empty. There was only a piece of clothing inside. This was the so-called cenotaph. Lin Feng had heard the immeasurable Taoist mention the cenotaph before. If the body could not be found in the tomb, a piece of clothing would be used to replace the body for burial. This was the so-called cenotaph. The coffin is actually empty. Where is the Devil Lord's corpse? The Cursed Doll roared in exasperation. It still wanted to devour the death chi in the Demon Lord's corpse to increase its cultivation. But now, he hadn't even seen the Demon Lord's corpse, let alone devouring the death energy in the Demon Lord's corpse. This made the Cursed Doll extremely angry. It felt that the bat monster was lying to it and Lin Feng. The bat monster said, "I've never seen the Devil Lord's body. Although it's rumored that the Devil Lord is buried here, it's just a rumor, so it's normal that we haven't found the Devil Lord's body." Lin Feng sneered. "Earlier, you kept saying that the Demon Lord's legacy was here. So, you were just messing with us?" Swoosh. Lin Feng took out the stone sword and held it in his hand. Killing intent flashed in his eyes. "Of course not. The Demon Lord's legacy is really here. There is something else in the cenotaph. There is one more thing," the bat monster hurriedly said. Then, it removed the piece of clothing from the coffin, revealing a small piece of pitch-black bone to Lin Feng. When Lin Feng saw the small piece of bone, he felt his arm begin to heat up again. The ancient devil ring imprinted on his arm began to fluctuate. This puzzled Lin Feng. This was not the first time the ancient devil ring had fluctuated. Could it be that the ancient devil ring was somehow related to the mysterious demon lord? The ancient devil ring was too mysterious. However, Lin Feng still did not have the ability to explore the secrets hidden within the ancient devil ring. He had to admit that this was a pity. He could only continue to raise his cultivation. Once his cultivation improved, he could explore the various secrets hidden within the ancient devil ring. Whose bone is this? Could it be the Demon Lord's bone? The Cursed Doll looked at the small piece of bone in shock. It is very likely the demon lord's bone. There are runes on it, and the aura of the great Tao lingers around it. It must contain the demon lord's legacy, the bat monster said. The cursed doll tried to collect the bone. However, the bone emitted a terrifying demonic aura that sent both the cursed doll and the bat monster flying. Crack, crack. Cracks appeared all over the cursed doll's body. It was nearly shattered by the demonic aura that had just surged out. The bat monster's situation was not much better. The bat monster coughed up large mouthfuls of blood. Many of its bones were broken. Together with the cursed doll, it fell to the ground and cried out in pain. F***CK, why are you the only one who is fine? The cursed doll got up from the ground and looked at Lin Feng enviously. He was almost shocked to death by that small piece of bone. But Lin Feng, who was next to him, was completely fine. It was true that comparing people to each other was like comparing goods to goods. Lin Feng said, maybe it's because my character is better. The cursed doll rolled its eyes. Naturally, it did not believe Lin Feng's words. It said, is there something on you that is protecting you? Or is there something on you that is related to this small piece of bone? The cursed doll's guess was spot on. Lin Feng knew that he was fine because of the ancient devil ring. However, the ancient devil ring was a secret. Lin Feng would not tell the cursed doll about it. Although he had been getting along well with the cursed doll, it was difficult to guess its thoughts. Moreover, the cursed doll was extremely cunning. Lin Feng did not know if it had opened its heart to Lin Feng. Naturally, Lin Feng could not reveal everything to the cursed doll. Lin Feng said, I have a mountain of things on me. As for what is protecting me, I don't know. The cursed doll looked at Lin Feng suspiciously. However, since Lin Feng said so, it could not refute Lin Feng. Therefore, it did not say anything else. Lin Feng reached out to grab the piece of bone. The piece of bone floated into the air on its own and emitted a power that could distort time and space. Lin Feng was blocked and could not get close. You belong to me. I will inherit the demon lord's legacy. Everything is predestined. Isn't that the case? Chapter 28:51. When Lin Feng said that everything was destined, he was referring to the ancient devil ring. He had obtained the ancient devil ring a long time ago, and the ancient devil ring itself was one of the 5 great treasures of the devil realm. It was shrouded in endless mysteries. Now, the ancient devil ring seemed to have some connection with this mysterious devil lord. Therefore, Lin Feng said that everything was destined. After the devil bone, which had distorted time and space, heard Lin Feng's words, it seemed to be really spiritual. The power of distorting time and space gradually disappeared. This kid is really fated with this devil lord's bone. The cursed doll muttered. The devil lord's bone has been taken away. My guardian mission is finally over. I will regain my freedom. At the side, the bat monster was also secretly delighted. Of course, it did not say these words out loud. Now, it was praying that Lin Feng and the cursed doll would pretend that it did not exist. Now, the bat monster was worried that Lin Feng and the cursed doll would kill it before it left. By then, it would be too late to cry. In the end, Lin Feng grabbed the mysterious bone in his hand. The bone emitted a cold aura. Holding it in his hand, Lin Feng's body began to freeze. He quickly put the bone into the mountain river ring. Brat, I'm telling you, don't even think about taking it all for yourself. We found it together. Once you've comprehended the supreme divine ability on it, you must teach it to me. Otherwise, I'm not finished with you. The cursed doll said, don't worry, you won't miss out on your share. Lin Feng said. Then, he looked at the bat monster and asked, where's the devil lord's treasure? Do you know where it is? The bat monster said, I really don't know. There's only one coffin here, and it's a cenotaph. It's hard to say if the mysterious devil lord really died here. Indeed, as the bat monster said, it was hard to say if the mysterious devil lord really died here. After all, it was something that happened countless years ago. Many things were already in the past. The past was gone. Everything was gone. Many secrets were buried in the long river of time, difficult to find out. Dong, dong, dong. At this moment, a bell rang from outside. It was the sound of the Chaos Ancient Bell. The cursed doll said in surprise, "The ancient Chaos Bell is ringing. It seems like it's not far from here. Let's go and chase after the ancient Chaos Bell," Lin Feng said excitedly. He had the Primal Chaos Stone. If anyone could refine the Primal Chaos Ancient Bell, it would naturally be the cultivator with the Primal Chaos Stone. At that very moment, Lin Feng was eager to see if he could successfully refine the ancient Chaos Bell. There were still 8 Chaos Stones left. He wondered if the other cultivators had obtained them. If those people also obtained the Chaos Stones, they would be able to find the Chaos Ancient Bell first. Perhaps the Chaos Ancient Bell would become someone else's treasure. This was naturally something Lin Feng didn't want to see. Let's get rid of this guy before we leave. It'll be a disaster if we leave it alive. The cursed doll looked at the bat monster with murderous intent in its eyes. The cursed doll had a vicious and merciless personality. Now that the bat monster was useless, it was time to kill it. To the cursed doll, killing it was just a matter of convenience. "Don't kill me. I can swear that I won't make you my enemy. I beg you to let me live." The bat monster begged. No one would want to die if they could live. Naturally, the bat monster was the same. "Forget it. Let's spare it this time. There's no time to lose. Let's go," Lin Feng said. The cursed doll nodded and quickly flew out with Lin Feng. Whoosh! They were as fast as lightning. Soon, they had rushed out. They left the underground imperial city. Lin Feng had gained a lot from this place. He had obtained a defensive-type emperor weapon, the heavenly mystery pagoda, and a devil bone that was suspected to have been left behind by a devil lord. Lin Feng was extremely satisfied with such amazing gains. Dong! 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 The sound of the ancient Chaos Bell reverberated through the clouds, shaking the world. The ancient Chaos Bell has appeared in the Black Desert. Soon, the news spread that the ancient Chaos Bell was in the Black Desert. Let's go and snatch the ancient Chaos Bell. Many cultivators were tempted. They eyed the ancient Chaos Bell covetously. It was a heaven-defying treasure. How famous was the #1 bell in the world? A treasure forged by the primeval Lord of Heaven was unimaginably powerful and terrifying. It must contain endless secrets. If they could control the ancient Chaos Bell, they would definitely embark on the path of conquering all the experts in the heavens. They would definitely become the supreme overlord of many starfields in the starry sky world. After a short time, Lin Feng saw the Primal Chaos Ancient Bell. It was floating in the air, and there were chains around it. At this moment, 4 cultivators were engaged in a chaotic battle. Among the 4 cultivators, Lin Feng only recognized one of them. It was the underworld child. He didn't know the other 3. The other 3 were also very powerful. One of them was a man in his 30s. He should be from the Sky Splitter race. There was a special mark between his eyebrows that looked like a lightning symbol. This was the racial symbol of the Sky Splitter race. The Sky Splitter race was a very powerful race among the extraterrestrial races. The second cultivator was a female cultivator. She was a female cultivator who had fallen from the Angel clan. Her figure was extremely hot, giving off the impression that the blood of beasts was boiling and their blood vessels were gushing out. One look at her could ignite the fire in one's heart. The fallen angel woman had the same beautiful face as the angels. However, she also had a charm that the angels didn't have. She was definitely one of the best in the world. She could tempt people to death. The third cultivator was a man shrouded in holy light. He was a cultivator from the sacred god race. He was many times stronger than Shang Yuanxiu, who was killed by Lin Feng. The 4 of them have terrifying means. They each seem to have a chaos stone. Then, the 4 of them locked the ancient Chaos Bell. They are now fighting for it. One of the cultivators who came here said aloud, "They can even lock the ancient Chaos Bell. The 4 of them are too strong. I wonder who will get the ancient Chaos Bell in the end?" Some cultivators took a deep breath and said they were eager to fight for it, especially now, when the 4 of them were fighting. It was the best chance for others to make a move. Ha ha ha, this ancient Chaos Bell is mine. Finally, some cultivators couldn't wait any longer. They rushed towards the ancient Chaos Bell and waved their hands. Monstrous dermic powers swept towards the ancient Chaos Bell. They wanted to take advantage of the rare opportunity when the 4 of them were fighting to get the ancient Chaos Bell. It's Song Wanluan from the Blue Dragon race. He has dragon blood flowing in his body. He is very strong. If he makes a move now, he might be able to get the ancient Chaos Bell. Chapter 2852. Song Wanluan's actions were like plucking a tiger's hair. It was completely offending the four experts. Of course, Song Wanluan's cultivation was very strong, and he had absolute confidence in himself. He believed that he could snatch the Primal Chaos Ancient Bell. The four experts who were originally engaged in a fierce battle were furious, and their killing intent was awe-inspiring. They had finally trapped the Primal Chaos Ancient Bell. Now that Song Wanluan had interfered, wasn't he courting death? If Song Wanluan had the Primal Chaos Stone, it would be fine if he joined in. However, he didn't even have the Primal Chaos Stone, and he wanted to snatch the Primal Chaos Ancient Bell. He was simply courting death. The four experts tacitly chose to stop at the first moment. Then, the four experts joined forces and attacked Song Wanluan. Loud rumbling sounds could be heard. Underworld Child waved his hand, and a river of death swept across the heaven and earth, rushing towards Song Wanluan. The fallen angel race female cultivator flapped her wings. Suddenly, billions of wind blades formed and swept across the heaven and earth, shattering the firmament and destroying the universe. All of them were heading towards Song Wanluan. The space-splitting race cultivator controlled the space-time energy and split open the void. Then, a powerful force surged towards Song Wanluan and enveloped him. The sacred god race cultivator also used a powerful technique. He summoned the power of hundreds of millions of thunderbolts. The dense lightning bolts descended from the sky and struck towards the sacred god race cultivator. It was as though the void was going to be split apart. The sacred god race cultivator's attack was too powerful and terrifying. It was no wonder they were the #1 race among the 10,000 races. The four experts' attacks were all locked onto Song Wanluan. If such powerful attacks were to land on Song Wanluan's body, even if Song Wanluan's cultivation was good, he would still die. However, who would have thought that Song Wanluan would laugh in the face of the four experts' attacks? I have long been on guard against you guys. Boundless starry sky, eternal exile. Song Wanluan let out a loud roar. Both of his hands kept changing seals as he unleashed a powerful divine ability. This sacred art was an absolute art recorded in the Great Exile Art. It connected to the starry sky world and banished the opponent's attacks. This sacred art was an extremely heaven-defying sacred art. Now, it was being executed by Song Wanluan. All of a sudden, the attacks of the four experts were banished into the outer realm, unable to harm Song Wanluan. Song Wanluan is well prepared. It seems like the Primal Chaos Ancient Bell will be taken away by him. Many cultivators exclaimed. They felt that Song Wanluan was going to snatch the Primal Chaos Ancient Bell because the current situation was very advantageous for him. It would be hard for the rest to compete with Song Wanluan at this moment. Damn it! The expressions of the four experts sank. They had never thought that Song Wanluan had cultivated the great banishing art. Such a powerful art had tricked them. It was already too late to condense a new divine ability. At this moment, Song Wanluan arrived in front of the Primal Chaos Ancient Bell and was about to collect it. However, at this moment, the void trembled slightly and a young human cultivator stepped out. This human cultivator was none other than Lin Feng. The Chaos Ancient Bell is mine. Lin Feng looked at Song Wanluan indifferently and threw out a punch towards Song Wanluan. His appearance was too sudden. The moment he appeared, he rushed in front of Song Wanluan. He then channeled the strength of the arm of the dragon elephant and smashed it towards Song Wanluan. The power of that punch was unimaginably horrifying. Lad, you're courting death. Looking at Lin Feng who had suddenly appeared in front of him, Song Wanluan was stunned. However, Song Wanluan sneered coldly. He was merely a human cultivator. What kind of storm could he stir up? Song Wanluan did not take Lin Feng seriously at all. Facing Lin Feng's attack, Song Wanluan threw out a punch towards Lin Feng. He wanted to go head-to-head with Lin Feng. Bam! Both of their fists collided fiercely. Crack! Crack! The sound of bones cracking could be heard. Arg! A miserable shriek rang out between heaven and earth. Song Wanluan's arm was broken when he collided with Lin Feng. His entire body was sent flying by Lin Feng. Barf. In midair, Song Wanluan started vomiting blood. His face was as pale as a sheet of paper. Everyone who saw this was shocked beyond words. Everyone thought that Song Wanluan would obtain the ancient chaos bell. Who would have thought that Lin Feng would suddenly appear and beat Song Wanluan to the point of vomiting blood? Who is that guy? How can he be so brutal? I don't know him. He seems to be a human cultivator. There are very few weak human cultivators. Could he be Lin Feng? Many cultivators from the various races, extraterrestrial races, and other external forces were puzzled. However, some cultivators thought of Lin Feng and voiced their thoughts. That's right. He is Lin Feng. I've seen him before. A cultivator from the 9 Mysteries Great World said. The cultivators from the 9 prefectures exclaimed. Seeing how powerful Lin Feng was, they were naturally very happy and excited. After sending Song Wanluan flying, Lin Feng held the Chaos Stone in his hand and quickly flew towards the ancient Chaos Bell. Then, he slapped his palm on the ancient Chaos Bell. Clang! An earth-shattering sound reverberated through heaven and earth. It was so loud that even the deaf could hear it. Many people almost fainted from the sound. Lin Feng's magic power wrapped around the ancient Chaos Bell, wanting to collect it. However, the ancient Chaos Bell did not move at all. It was as stable as a rock. There was no way to collect it. Kill him. The 5 experts' expressions were cold as they charged towards Lin Feng. Boom, 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 boom. Powerful attacks were formed. The attacks of the 5 experts gathered together and blasted towards Lin Feng. Song Wanluan, in particular, attacked Lin Feng like a madman. He wanted to tear Lin Feng into pieces. Only by doing so could he wash away the humiliation of being beaten to the point of vomiting blood. The cursed doll flew out from the void. The cursed doll's hands kept changing seals. A twisting whirlpool appeared in front of the cursed doll. The whirlpool was very strange. It seemed to have a special magic power. It was able to attract all the attacks towards it. The attacks of the 5 experts all flew towards the whirlpool. Then, they were gradually devoured by the whirlpool. Hurry up! I can't hold on any longer. The cursed doll shouted. I came with the Chaos Stone in my hand. This is the will of the heavens. If you don't submit to me, who do you want to submit to? Lin Feng shouted in a deep voice. Bang! Bang! He threw out 9 punches in a row. Finally, the ancient Chaos Bell was shaken. Lin Feng wrapped the ancient Chaos Bell with his magic power and kept it. Let's go. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.